Got him.
Okay, well, anyway, hi, baby.
Hi.
Gotta say something right before I make the transition from one scene to another. Anyway, hi, everyone. Welcome back to Evindale, and tonight's episode of Branching Out. We're gonna let Erin take care of some announcements before we get going.
Announcements. Yes, we've got two. I'm professional. We've got two big announcements on Thursdays. Unfortunately, but fortunately for him, Kevin Mephis, who played Carl Hexbane, was summoned into the theater, and he will be doing his own thespian thing, and we have another person coming in. So yeah, well, great awesome opportunity for Kevin, and awesome opportunity for us with Myriad X coming to join the Seekers.
That Seekers of the Fall on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I don't have the chat up, so I can't shout her out, but maybe somebody can. So go give her a follow and support her, and make sure you come back on Thursday.
There you go.
See her show up to the rest of the society.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. The some of the stuff that that they have going on, that the character that she's creating sounds really intriguing. So kind of cool. I'm excited. About that. Well, you also have something else going on.
I do. So I just ended a session 0 for a one-shot being held on Saturday. It's a Candela Obscura game over at Talking XP. So I'm going to be with a few super nerds who, most of them I know through threads, yay threads. And we are going to be playing a really fun spooky murder mystery.
Is that Talking
I'm really
XP?
excited.
Is there an underscore in between Talking and XP, or?
No.
No, it just is. Okay, and there's a shout out for Talking XP.
Yeah, so that'll be Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
There you go. So Erin is moving up and beyond, and moving beyond Evindale, and we're never going to see them again. And
I literally play periodically on the Liching Hour, so
that's true.
Not moving up.
Our little ones growing up and moving out. We're going to become empty nesters soon.
Yes, and Bramble will be played by.
Yes, it's just gonna be that, right? It's just gonna be the plushie. Just What do you remember of the game so far before we toss you into a realm of high fantasy and happiness?
Oh, is that where we left off?
Yeah. Je sais quoi? Hello.
Je sais quoi? Hi, friend. There was a Oasis, which was pretty happy, and I don't know why Bramble didn't just stay there. So we woke up with Bramble almost dying. I think she actually probably did die a little bit, but she was saved by Darian. Darian came back with Silver, his horse, and his familiar Bart the bear.
Yes. Yeah, Bart the bear.
And he helped Morty and Bramble, and Barbara died. Barbara turned into thistle poo and floated downstream. So Bramble waited several days to see if Barbara would return, and Darian left with Silver, and Bart kind of like hung around a little bit. And then they weren't there for a while, and then dragons showed up. First a baby, and then a mom, and then there was a fucking Birdman that showed up with some kind of like monster crony, and
was he
something
a Birdman?
About what?
Was he a Birdman?
So I'm not sure what he was,
okay,
but he had armor that suggested avian features. So the armor was
like dragon features.
Yeah.
Like dragon scale or dragon skin armor. Yeah.
But it wasn't it looking at us like birds? Yeah,
It seemed the creature within the armor seemed a little bit avian like distorted features. Yeah.
Specifically of this world and not of this world.
Yeah, it was
it was rude. They killed the mama dragon and then kind of studied Bramble, and then there were several others very nearby who all left, and Bramble was like, that's cool, bye. And we started to leave, and we're looking for Barbara to come back, and then realized that Darian hasn't been back in days. So then they were also looking for Darian. Found a body in a tree, slaughtered, that had familiar eyes but a beard, and Darian did not have a beard. And we learned that this body was the human form of Bart.
Yep.
And that Bart is a werebear or some whatever.
Well, it used to be anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah, used to be. Now he's a there bear. And so we find, and then we also found Barbara, who turned into a pine cone, like a pine cone owl.
Barbara became like absolutely really adorable. And when we switch over to the other thing, I can pop that up.
Yeah. And then we moved, according to Darian, we had to go north up until we saw mountains, and then northwest to get to the front gate to Daithgloam.
Yep.
And when we left off, we were in this sort of like over this ledge, kind of. And she's got great track records with ledges. And there were several of the... Were they the avian guy's friends? Because we saw him. He showed back up.
He came through the forest and raised a hand, and like a shadow-like bridge then extended from the lip of the cliff going down to what ended up being a battlefield. And several other creatures then followed. That occurred some distance away from you, but close enough for you to be uncomfortable. They didn't notice you, but you certainly recognized who it was.
Yep. And a Thread's friend just followed. Hi.
Hey!
I think it's D d'anglais, but let me know if that's not right. I thought it was French, but like Dan and English mixed together, the words for Dan and English. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyways, thanks for following, and it's good to see you.
D d'anglais, yeah. That's cool.
So yeah, that's where we left off, and we're about to get fucked. So I can't wait.
And extending anglais is fine. Perfect. Extending beyond the cliff face, there was a massive battlefield looking like like two, perhaps even three sides. On the southern side, you're kind of facing southwest, but either way, what would be to your character's left, which would seem to be towards the south or southwest or so, you can see what appears to be armies of humans. And off on the right, a miasma of shadow, and every now and then creatures, well, not every now and then, a constant, almost like a wave smashing up on shore. The shadow just constantly comes down and takes out some of the ranks, while the humans then move forward and beat back the shadow with fire and flame. Where those shadow things seem to be coming from seems to be about a city, or not a city, rather a land that has over it a pall, it's almost like a negative sun. It's not quite hemispherical. It's just the atmosphere around it. It seems to be completely monotone up close, which is to say some of the ground where the shadow things are, that seems to be grayscale. And in the distance, this land, which is just bleak and black and grim, that lies over there. And that, you believe, is the country that we've been calling Daithgloam.
Yes.
So, are you ready?
No.
All right. Let's get on over there. So We'll see you inside.
Ah.
All right, we're now inside. Okay, so this, by the way, this is the. Hold on, let me get this out. This is that's Barbara. That's the new Barbara. What's that?
Played by this Barbara. Also, shout out to Greedmaw, Only Flaps, for drawing the character for Barbara. Right there.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, let me get that one out. This little cuteness down there, that Barbara, or it should be that Bramble, Only Flaps. If you have the opportunity, go check them out. They are fantastic. Everyone, like all y'all are great. So here we go. I'm like,
a train right in the background.
That's all right.
It's the death train.
It is the death train. It's coming to take you away. It had to come at this point. You ready?
Yes.
The first thing that catches your eye is a formation of shadow troops from the land directly to the north. They seem to be moving with a fucking train. They seem to be moving with a fluid grace. Their forms constantly shifting, making it hard to discern where one entity ends and another begins. Their mounts, ethereal creatures resembling horses but made entirely of shadow, gallop with a silent determination. It is eerie to hear the cries and screams of the dying and the warlike on the human side, but then nothing coming from their opponents. The armor of the riders of these horses seem to absorb what dim light there is, giving them an even more ominous appearance. It's only really when the torches and magic from the human side of this war, from the human side of this battle, really only then do you understand what it is that they're actually facing. You begin noticing patterns to their movement, perhaps like a weak point or a strategy that they are employing, you as a silent observer from quite some distance. This kind of knowledge might be helpful to you if you can truly notice it. What would you roll to determine battle tactics from either side? Because you, Bramble, have to get through this or find a way around it in order to get to your destination.
I'm going to say that I would roll. I almost want to say diplomacy, because the way that I would study it is I would think about the plains people, the Zorali riders, and where that big battle sequence was, and how the ghosts were kind of reenacting that whole battle.
Yes.
And then thinking back to like the very beginning of her journey, when there was a whole the end of a battle scene, like there was the end of a battle where all the carnage afterwards that she saw. Yep. So she would put two and two together. I would think that would be diplomacy.
Let's take a look at your sheet here. Why don't we go with
society? I'm sorry.
A society, yeah. I would go with a society. Society is going to give you something else as well. So first, let's take a look at society, because you do see banners and pennons on the human side. And why are you on this mission in the first place?
Because of human encroachment.
Now you might find out who is behind it.
That seems really important. Okay, I could do that. Could I do academia lore for that instead?
You can do academia lore for that. That's absolutely fine.
Fuck yeah, that gives me 10 extra points. So thank God it's a dirty 20.
Yeah, not a problem. You're taking a look at it, and there is an unusual characteristic, something that kind of catches you unawares. You see various pennons of noble houses of Ivari, a land that is quite some distance away. However, your knowledge of human history is still a little bit sketchy with just that 20. Can you give it to me again now that you've noticed something else?
Sure. Oh, 30?
Now we're talking. when a massive group starts charging forward with torches and bullseye lanterns just on the outskirts as the warriors begin their onslaught. You can make out additional pennants of a newly formed settlement called Kultrek, settled in by those from Ivari. Putting two and two together, you begin to surmise that they are starting in Ivari, heading north, coming down or following the coastline, and then coming straight down into a nearby bay into their new settlement called Kultrek.
Okay. This is so cool. Okay.
However, give me a perception check.
Fuck. 21.
Yep, ragging. My cat's laying on my dice. Come on, buddy. There we go.
He always does that.
You got 21?
Mm-hmm.
Morty standing along or sitting alongside you, just witnessing this, his eyes wide, breathing it in, also making sure that that thing, that 9-foot tall, whatever the hell that guy is, moving down with his entire entourage, and so many more have come in. Morty's watching them. You're watching the battlefield. No one's watching behind you. Your skin starts getting a little bit cold. First, you feel it on your back, the presence of ice. But not ice as in temperature. Ice as in inside, as in a place that has been bereft of light for a long time.
Ooh.
We're going to transport you over to that cliff's edge.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I'm going to slowly look over my shoulder, like very casually, like I'm looking at Morty, but really I'm looking behind.
Sure. You can see a shape forming out where the moonlight hits here and there. Shadows begin to coalesce and weave itself into a humanoid shape. Something takes form directly behind you and at some distance. A foreign language of some kind being whispered. You think it's talking at full volume because you can hear it no matter the distance.
Ooh.
What do you do?
Do I know the language?
No.
Oh. I'm gonna be like, Morty.
Yeah.
There's something behind us, and I think you need to try to paralyze it right now.
He turns around real quick, not liking that at all. Let me see here. You can see things beginning to shift in the woods off to your right as well, and when you come turning around. And then the thing ahead of you, well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just roll for initiative.
Oh God.
Let's just get this out of the way and find out what happens. Yeah, why not? This shouldn't be too bad. Oh, the threat says, okay, well, let's find out.
Oh boy.
It has a 32. Morty has a 16, and you have a 16. You get to go last. This thing, you can see it beginning to waver, and just as it disappears, it then appears over here. And then you see it again fading one more time, only to appear off to your left.
Oh God, I just got goosebumps. Okay.
What are you doing?
Oh,
it disappears one more time and appears right next to you.
Morty, get it.
Morty's like, I don't know where it just disappeared. I have no idea where it is. You can feel excuse me. You can feel its presence around you. It's just oppressive. There's first off, when you take a look down at the ground, the various colors of the rock that lie beneath your feet have all but disappeared. You can see an inky blackness coming from a source directly behind you. Morty turns around, tries taking a 5-foot step away, and does. This thing does not lash out. Its hands laying, just sitting in front of it, as if in 0G, like this is its natural state.
Ew.
It is eyeing you cautiously.
Okay, so it's not like it's not actively attacking.
It is
yet.
not. It hasn't made any gestures that would seem to be an attack.
Okay. Okay.
Every now and then you can see a tendril come out from behind it, as if it's reaching into another world, forming the tendril from over there and then connecting it to its body.
Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, is it my turn? It still shows it's Morty's.
Yeah, go ahead. Morty's holding his actions.
Perfect. I'm going to, as it does that with its tendrils, I'm going to mirror what it's doing with my vines. So.
Ooh, give me a performance check.
Cool. Okay. Oh God. It's a +2. Oh, 21.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd say that does fairly well. Let me see. It's I'm gonna roll a oh boy. Hold on. Should I?
Should I? Why are you asking that?
Well, you know, it's just a thing.
Oh no.
This does not appear to understand what it is that you're doing. And instead, you see it, all those things, it appears to take what you're doing as a sign of aggression. They all immediately, they stop from flowing like ribbons and then snap into like black steel-like blades. And all of them pointing directly in front, and then they relax again. A quick little reminder of what it might be capable of.
Okay. Do I have more like more stuff?
Yeah.
I'm going, when that happens, instead of mirroring that like aggressive stance, my vines are gonna kind of like swoop into like a surrender stance and then fall, like flitter to the ground as like a bow almost.
You get a... Ooh, give me a diplomacy check.
Okay. I almost want to do this as like a shameless request.
Let's find out.
I got a 28.
That beats its 25. It
Okay.
begins to look at you very curiously. It seems to... It is curious. Quiero llorar, vorak encarnar tenor. And as it continues to speak, it leans in, its face becoming extended, its mouth becoming overly drawn out off to the sides.
I'm going to... And I definitely don't know this language. Okay. I'm gonna... Actually, no, I can't do that. Okay.
It doesn't look like it's going to be patient.
I figured. I'm going to... I think I was probably holding my short sword or something. I'm going to, like, drop. I'm going to drop it. I'll drop my weapon.
What the hell are you doing? Kid, pick that thing up. It can kill you.
We've already almost died. I don't think it wants to immediately hurt me.
It comes forward just a little bit and notices definitely that you've dropped your weapon. It begins to lean forward just a little bit more.
I'm gonna say in... Does it look human? Like it
Humanoid.
Like it was human ones?
Humanoid.
Humanoid.
2 legs, 2 arms, or at least the shadows coalesce into the form of arms and legs with a head.
What language? What the fuck is his name? Morty. What languages do you know?
I mean, I can speak with animals, but that thing is not an animal. I speak your language. I speak Sylvan and Draconic and let's see what else. I mean, this thing is freaking me out.
Shh, it's okay. And I'm gonna speak in Elven, hoping that that's... Yeah, I'll speak Elven. And I'm gonna say, I'm not here to hurt you. I just need to find the hidden sanctum.
It looks at you and responds back in broken Elven.
Fuck yes!
What is your reason for being here?
The last seed of the first Leshy will stop all wars.
Whose side do you serve?
Nordaga's.
It stands up. Give me a diplomacy check.
Fuck yes. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm like sweating from negotiation. 16?
Nordaga takes no sides. Who do you serve? And he says that again, turning off to the side, and you see as it extends out its hand to indicate the battlefield in the distance and all of the battle going on behind him. The shadowy tendrils from behind then replicate what his hand is doing and then continue as if to churn out a third arm, which continues to point behind him as the original one returns to face you. No sides are taken here. All sides are taken. You can tell he's struggling with the language.
I fight for natural justice.
It's difficult to tell if it has a look of confusion. Give me another diplomacy check. Now it's scanning you for intent. You can tell you've done the same thing and you firmly understand.
23.
Versus it's 18. Why now? Why now?
Because the humans from the west have pillaged and murdered and burned our villages in the east.
You are against. And he looks over his right shoulder to look at the human armies behind.
I'm against their beliefs.
It genuinely seems confused. You come from where?
Tearful Brag.
Its eyes, the black pools of shadow that represent the sockets where eyes would ordinarily be, widen a little bit up and down as if surprise. You come far away. You look for
Yes.
what?
The last seed of the first Leshy.
It does not seem to know what you're talking about. You can feel an intensity beginning to grow in this thing, and it's getting a little bit impatient.
I'm gonna hold my amulet up.
What trinket is this?
This is my circle.
Circles. Magic. You bring magic.
No magic.
Morty's
I'm
like,
gonna-
where you look? I'm getting tired of this. Where? This thing. Morty steps up with an angry tone.
Morty. Morty.
It lashes out with a tendril and swipes at Morty. Okay, it's not horrible, but Morty gets a. What you see is the tendril lashes out, but it disappears about a foot in front of it appears on the opposite side of Morty, and then the shadow in front and the shadow from behind come together where Morty is. And you see a and then the shadows seem to extrude the flesh from his body, tearing it a little bit off from all sides, and then the shadows just they end up relaxing. Was it? Oh, fuck! It hit me inside the head. Okay.
Yeah. Did you learn your lesson? Stop it.
Oh, it tickled my brain. It tickled my brain.
Oh, good. Stay back there. Stop.
It turns back and looks at you, and this Morty just kind of comes in. All right, yeah, I'll be over here. And he comes and he stands behind you.
I'm gonna lift up my hands and say, I am so sorry. He's new.
You bring magic. What do you do with this magic?
I use the magic of nature, but I will not use it here if you say so.
Give me a diplomacy check. Or actually, give me a perception.
Okay. 20.
It's good enough. You're detecting its growing impatience is more with the detail than anything else. A creature like this asking you why you're here or what it is that you're doing here is most likely a scout from that whole shadow army. And it needs to know if its people are safe. Are you a human scout? You're picking up on all of that.
Okay. I would like safe passage through a war that is not mine to fight to the gate.
Honestly, it's like this is a time of war. His home is locked down. No passage.
You know, fine. I'm just gonna turn around and we'll go. I'll just go home. I'm just gonna go that way. Come on. I'm gonna turn around like I'm gonna leave. Come. I won't use this. This is for my own.
It disappears from in front of you and appears behind you.
Oh. Okay.
Well, as you turned around to turn, and Mort's like shit, and it moves away. Too late. You leave. It steps forward.
Well, that's not very diplomatic. Shit. Morty.
On it. Morty's looking at him as yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, that's fine. Morty looks at him, and there's that purplish hue which is beginning to start up in his eyes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, fuck. Hold on. This is okay. Morty's looking at him. He's like, we're going to go through there, and you can help us or not. Morty, not being exactly the diplomat, stares at him in an attempt. Oh shit! Stares at him and in an attempt to. Oh man! Hold up! He got a critical failure. It was a DC 22 Fortitude save. He rolled a 1, but missed the target by 10. Holy shit! Let me just double check something. Oh, okay. No. You see the creatures wavering back and forth. Morty's like, we're going to go through with or without you. And he stares right at him, and the creature for a second freezes. But the tendrils behind it do not. I say no passage. Morty's shoulders drop. His eyes go blank. He's immune.
To
what I can do. And he says that in Sylvan.
Okay. Well, friend, I could either go that way and leave y'all alone, or go this way and you can leave us alone.
You come with me. It steps forward. You've been doing exceptionally well on all of your diplomacy. It is not comfortable with what it's seeing, and you can tell there is going to be an uneasiness between everyone here.
Okay. I'm gonna slowly start to pick up my sword to take it back. I'm gonna say, I'll go with you, but I'm entitled to protect myself. And I'm gonna very slowly sheathe my weapon.
You kind of get the feeling that it's looking at the steel and kind of chuckling, as if you saw a small child who was waving a plastic straw at you.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because Bramble is the size of a small child.
No, I'm saying you. It's okay. So,
no.
That's fine.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
What is it's MSV for components is material, somatic, and verbal?
Correct.
Does that mean I need something tangible, I need to speak, and I need to think?
Your hands, somatic is gestures.
Hands. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool.
This thing starts heading towards the gate. And first off, as you go, those tendrils, it comes in from behind you, steps in. It's requesting, or it has requested, that Morty be in the middle. It doesn't trust Morty at all, but its tendrils come out and extend in front of it and form like a prison.
Ooh.
Forward, move.
Okay. I'll move and I'll start to speak in Sylvan to Morty.
And Morty's also whispering in your ear, I don't fucking like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. I might be able to trip him with my tail. He's right behind me. I might be able to.
No, I have a plan.
Shut up. And it begins moving.
I'm gonna respond as if I'm saying okay in Sylvan. Hopefully he doesn't understand what Sylvan is. But what I'm really doing is I'm gesturing and I'm saying whatever word I need to say to cast Mind of Menace while we walk.
Okay.
It's a 10-minute cast time, so I'm trying. It's just a preparation. Nothing actually supposedly happens. All it does is it wards against those who attempt to subvert my mind and turns mental magic back on them. When the spell is complete, I gain the fight with fear reaction, and then once I use the reaction, the spell ends. So to me, in my head, when I chose it, it was a very quiet, like, side spell.
So you're all right. So it's very quiet. Give me a deception.
Okay, I could do this.
Or you know what? Alternatively, you can give me a deception, or you can give me a thievery, because you're attempting something with like a little bit of sleight of hand.
They're both untrained, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'll use a fucking hero point for that.
How did you know that you failed?
Oh, I didn't. I got a 6.
You got a 6? Okay.
Yeah.
I may roll those in for you in the future, but nonetheless.
Okay.
You take the material component. I'll give it to you. Yeah, use the hero point. Use the hero, because you would know. Yeah, you would know.
Okay, I'm gonna use the hero point. That's marginally better. I got a 12.
Let's see if it notices with its perception. It rolls a 3, got a 17.
Wow. Okay.
You take the material components out, and you begin moving, moving your hands in front of you where hopefully you can't see it. Meanwhile, its tendrils are directly in front of you, and you can see some of the flats. The tendrils themselves look like whips, almost like leather belts, but not leather, made of shadow. So they're wide and thin. The width of them, you can see small openings open up every now and then. Not really understanding it. It's just like, it seems to be more as the shadow comes in and out. It just kind of forms, closes, and it's almost like it's oozing out of another dimension and then reforming elsewhere. It's bizarre. But those tendrils, then you see little holes open up, and the tendril goes and smacks the material components out. Give me let me just double check real quick. I believe it's just going to be a okay, hold on. Yeah, unfortunately, hold on. To be fair, I wanted to make a strike against that. But 28's going to hit your AC, right?
Yep.
Okay, by how much?
7.
Okay. It strikes the material components out of your hand. Okay. No magic. Move forward.
All right, I'll follow him.
Rendered useless, you and Morty can feel a little bit of dread. The land itself losing more and more color, and it seems like you have walked quite some distance. One of the things that you've noticed is as it moves along with you, there seems to be like it almost jets forward at a couple of paces and then has to wait for you to catch up, still contained within the shadowy cage. For that, because this thing is doing that, if you would like to attempt an escape during that time, you can. Just let me know. In which case, then you could just roll in acrobatics. Or actually, you would roll an escape if you wish.
It seemed like he was kind of nervous about me being there. Like, not a...
No, as if its normal mode of transportation is about 20 times faster than this.
No. When it told me to follow, you'd mentioned that it seemed... Like when it said to follow him?
It doubled down on its purpose.
Okay.
It's very clear that it can do what it needs to do to protect itself. The nervousness seems to have come from what you're perceiving as nervousness. It seems to be more of a state of confusion that you picked up on when you had said tearful breg.
Okay.
Like the name of your homeland.
Okay. And we're going through, like, towards where the...
You have 48 miles to go, but yeah, you are moving. Now, you've only gotten maybe a quarter mile or half a mile, perhaps. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's been some time. But do you want to do anything during that time?
I want to consult the spirits.
Describe it in character. Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is as we're going, like as we're walking, there's like pieces of like brush, like dead, dying brush and plants and stuff. And I'm noticing that it's not dead, right? Like there's still life.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't see anything dead. In fact, nature seems to be thriving. It's just that nature isn't green here.
So I want to see what these kind of nature lushies can tell me. And it's a secret feat, so I don't think he'll notice that I'm doing anything. It is, I could do it once a day. It has to be nature because that's the one I chose. It allows me to contact the spirits of nature that form leshies, and they can answer questions about natural features like the location of nearby water or plant life. I think last time I asked like a different kind of question.
Sure.
It's 10 minutes. It's a recall knowledge with the chosen skill. DC is determined by you, and I could use it once wait, I'm not a legendary in it. That's it. If I succeed, it's the spirits are indifferent to me and answer only one question. If it's a critical success, then they answer 3 simple questions about the environment within 100 feet of me.
Okay. All right, and this is consult the spirits. Okay.
Yep, and it's a nature check.
So 1 second. I'll roll that for
Sure.
you because you're not going to know if it's really going to work. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Over the course of the next 10 minutes, as you're trotting on, it doesn't seem to be taking any kind of an untoward action towards you. It is capable of extreme violence, it would seem, having threatened you a couple of more times. But over this time, you definitely get the impression that it is here to do a job, and it is currently carrying out its job. It doesn't seem to be malicious, though over this time you manage to, view these tendrils. You kind of understand what this possibly could be. So as you're going through this, you're making various observations. And then you begin noticing the elements of nature here and there. A plant there, that one that you've seen many times before. Many people consider it a weed. You know all of its benefits as a plantain, small little leafy green thing, not the banana thing, but you notice that. They seem to be growing in abundance around here. You take a look at the health of the trees. They are strong and steady. And by the end of the 10 minutes, providing... I'm going to have you make a deception check, hidden. 1 moment.
Okay.
You, by the end of that, you can feel a presence in the area. And you find yourself surrounded by like-minded spirits.
Oh, there's more than one? Okay. Does it look like the guard can see them?
There's nothing yet to suggest that he or it recognizes this.
I'm gonna look at Morty and be like...
Who's directly behind you.
Yeah. I'll look kind of like, do you see them?
So who?
Fuck yeah. All right. And I'm going to the closest one that's like near me. I'm gonna say, are these enemies of nature?
And there's some that come out. You can see a shadow-like spirit that appears around the edge of a tree and then winds up as if it were a squirrel coming around. It loops around the back of the tree and pops up just on the other side. And it emits a chirp that in your ears, coming back to you in Sylvan, they are currently protecting us.
Did they disappear?
No, not yet.
Fuck yes. I rolled well. Okay. Bramble's like, yes. Okay. They're protecting. From who?
You continue walking, and now you see it looks like a small shrub or something like that, some undergrowth. And within that, you see a small four-legged creature get kind of spooked out by you guys walking by, and it skitters away. And then the bush itself comes to life and continues to shake. And as it does, ask your question again.
From who?
All the things that are not from this world.
Okay, I'm gonna hold off on my question really quick and direct it, turn my attention to the guard.
So you turn around for a second?
Yeah. So You all have been keeping this place very beautiful.
Diplomacy.
Yeah, come on. I'll take it. 19.
It looks like it's about to say, keep moving forward. As it has been saying, you know, it's the same actions. It's doing what it needs to. It stops. We do what we must. Move forward. And it moves forward, and Morty's like, that just got right up my butt. Okay.
I'm gonna okay, I'm gonna turn around and say, should I be paying my respects to the land here before I keep moving? My in my head, I'm like, this is a scout, which means they spend a lot of time in nature, and they might in their scouting like pick up on the zest for life, I guess. And maybe he would know more about the lore here that he wouldn't like, he would unwittingly tell me.
It looks at you, stops again. Mirakchato dorler dormanvarak. Mirax dundres.
And
it's not progressing. He stops and says in Elvish, we each revel in nature's cause in our own way. Move forward.
Okay, I will slowly move forward.
He's gonna be up in my keister if you don't keep moving, kid.
Okay, I'm going. I'm gonna keep moving. I'm piecing together. I'm gonna pause just for a little bit in my in speaking and stuff while we walk. So the Leshies here have said that they protect them from those not of nature. Is that like what it's implying?
It seems to be more the case that, well, the Leshy said what they said, that these things, this whole shadow realm seems to be protecting nature against the incursion of the humans.
Okay. Okay. My last question is for whatever next Leshy I see. I'm going to say,
you move forward, and at one point you see a crack in the ground. It's just, as some of the ground had dried up in this path. Not anything that was carved out by them, but more like, it's probably like a goat trail or something along those lines. And the crack itself begins to move, and from it comes whispers.
Okay. And I'm gonna, as I'm passing it, I'm gonna say, if the last seed is removed from Daithgloam, is this land no longer protected by shadow? Okay.
It stops moving.
Okay.
And the tendrils come a little bit close to you.
Uh-huh.
The thing in the ground, boy.
God, just yes or no.
So the thing in the ground.
Yeah.
This is unknowable to us.
but I believe so.
Okay.
When it stops, one of the tendrils, like that's just simply drifting, goes, smacks the ground where the thing is, the crack that comes up, and it goes, and appears in front of you with a cage in front.
Oh.
Or excuse me, well, the body of the creature.
Yeah.
What did you say? Answer me!
I asked what happens if the seed is removed.
That is not all you...
And you, lover of nature, just squashed that Leshy. So either you're lying about your love for nature.
Give me a deception check.
Okay.
Because you didn't. You know for a fact that Leshy is not squashed.
Yeah. Rolled a 3.
Role play it.
So, well, like the thing keeps, like the Leshy's like, I'm right here. I'm actually fine. Like a Monty Python.
No. That Leshy disappeared when he smacked the ground. It's gone.
I don't know. I realize it's really fucking close to me, and I'm like, I don't. I had a thing. Now I don't.
What is name of place? His body turns inside and out to flip around 180 degrees as if to look in the distance towards your destination or supposed destination, and then like flips back and looks at you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Deathblow?
You think you know name.
I'm sorry.
Chrome.
Hey, Chrome.
Turns around and begins moving forward, and the tendrils begin moving with him.
So am I right?
The cage slowly, like the cage is being released from around you.
Oh. So, is that true then about the last seed? I like kind of jog up to catch up to him.
I know nothing about this last seed, but you mispronounce our name.
Well, I didn't know. I don't. It's just words on a map. It's not telling me how to pronounce the name. But now that you've told me, I'll be more respectful about...
What map of man has our home on it? He stops, stands, and looks at you as if you just gravely insulted it.
Everyone I've seen?
Mind you, not too many maps exist of this area, so it's been... Yeah, not too many.
I was always working under the guise that the map that we use is the one that I
no. That's totally fair. That's totally fair. You would know the name of this place as something like Daithglome, and because it has been referred to, Avianth had also given you the name, with the hidden sanctum, and that's where the last seed is located, etc. So it's totally within reason to believe that other people know of it. And certainly Avianth has had that map, and that's probably the map that we're working on.
I'll retcon that based on that answer. I'm gonna say the Ethereal Codex.
What do you know of that?
I've seen it.
Its shape shivers a little bit as if to reposition. You've seen it do that It moves over by a foot. You've seen Codex. Follow. And it, and you just see it go like as quick as light itself. It just goes straight down the path by about 50 feet. Follow.
Oh, okay. I got little legs. I'm trying my best. And I'm gonna like, as the little Leshy I passed.
Sure.
Like, as I pass it, I'm like, thank you. And then
you see.
That's all right.
And then I'm gonna hop on Morty to kind of go a little bit faster.
Sure. Morty's like, while you're traveling, Morty is now talking to you, and apparently it's not going to stop any kind of a chatter. What do you think is going to happen here? I'm confused. I'm concerned.
Well, Morty will either die again, or hopefully that's not the case, and they tell us where the last seed is. But I have a feeling the last seed is what's keeping this place protected, and I don't think they're going to want to part with it. So I'm just kind of playing the game for now.
Playing what game? You're gonna get us in there with a whole bunch of expectations. What happens if they don't tell us anything? Besides, who walks over to your house and says, hey, I'd like to, take something from your home, by the way, without even asking whether or not it means anything to them?
Well, I asked the Leshies back there, and they told me that it's probably what's keeping this place protected from the humans. So I don't need to ask them if that's... I believe those guys.
Not the humans.
Like stops, turns, and looks at you.
Not the humans.
You speak Sylvan?
Shit.
Did you want that to happen? Because we were speaking Sylvan.
It continues.
Okay, cool. So that's good because I'm a lot better with Sylvan. What about the humans? Like, not then who?
Humans part of Nordaga's plan. Their actions are not.
Oh, humans are made in Nordaga's image, kind of, but not
No.
what they do?
Humans made in Sitlia's image. Come on.
Continues walking down the path. Ahead, you can see that the path goes further into the forest and begins bearing off to the right. You guys have walked about a full mile or so during this time. Instead, he jumps down off of a ledge, down by about like 7 or 8 feet or so. It's just more kind of floats down there as if taking one step, and the next step is just simply naturally lands. You guys make your way down there as well.
Okay.
Down a series of other ledges until finally you are on on the same level as a battle which has now taken place quite some distance away. But you can see that there are in the distance on the horizon like a black cloud moving towards the battle from the north. As for the sky, well, that tells an entirely different story. Shadowy creatures resembling birds but larger and even more menacing are swooping down, and you believe down on the human forces, causing panic in their ranks. You can hear every now and then skirmisher groups that have come around, some forward scouts which are being lifted up into the sky and just simply dropped. It is not a pretty sight. Whatever these people are, whatever it is that they represent, they do seem to be holding their own. But the fact that the humans were even able to go toe-to-toe with this is horrific. When you begin to get a little bit closer, he stops. We go this way, and indicates a crack in rock nearby. The rock itself, gray, completely lost in color as usual. And you can see a shuddering shadow coming down out of the sky, and give me a perception check.
Okay. just got like lost in your description. Holy shit. Oh, I got a 16. There's no crit fails.
Yeah, well, no, it's unfortunately your 16 does not work. You're paying attention to your surroundings, but when this thing comes out, it's like as quick as a falcon dive bombing. This thing is just, it seems to be just warping time itself, just appearing like jetting forward in a miraculous fashion, and it reaches down to a rock, picks it up, and you can see the rock beginning to flail wildly with arms and legs. It was just a humanoid scout, disguised, bringing it up into the sky, and the body itself, limbs and legs start falling down to the ground.
Move!
And he indicates the crack in the rock. What lies beyond is a pleasant surprise.
Ooh.
Color. Not full, however. A deep purple that seems to be bordering on the unknown. A hue in nature not often found. Purple or mauve being the closest that your brain is able to comprehend. You can see a limbing glow appear in rock as you get closer, more to the point as it gets closer. This thing is tall, bordering on maybe 7 feet or so, but it's also very thin in areas, constantly changing its own width of its body, taking a step forward at a pace that seems incommensurate with its own steps, moving slower than its own feet would have it go, and then faster, and as its feet move slower. When it stands beside the limbed out area, I believe that's the word, limbed out, or like limbed, well, fuck it, it's limbed out, and you understand it. It's like limbing, I think it is. I'm gonna have to look it up.
With confidence, I'll believe you.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's limbed light. I don't fucking know. Anyway, you see like a thin bead of light going around this rock. The rock, as it gets closer, you can see the rock kind of fade off. Run in the middle. Blackness begins to appear and overtake it, giving the illusion that there's just a darkened passageway through the rock. He indicates in.
I'll squeeze in. Does Morty fit?
Oh yeah, this thing.
Okay.
It is like bordering on about 7 feet tall. Morty itself is probably about 4 feet wide or so, and he's able to fit through. And it seems to be more of like a tall, thin archway, but yeah.
Okay, I'll go in.
Okay.
He wouldn't have like taken me all this way just to kill me, and so I'm fine.
Okay. You begin going in. This is odd. This is too odd. You can feel your body very quickly disassembled and then reassembled as you go through, transforming yourself from a physical plane to one that does not have physics of the same kind. You see your leaves break apart into ash, which then turns into an inky block and then comes back together, stitching. You don't feel any different, with the exception of one thing. As each part of you gets replaced, there's a little bit of cold that comes over that area and expands out before dissipating. The overall effect is, as you walk through and your body changes, you could feel the shiver run right through you and all the way to the back.
Ooh.
Morty himself becomes more skeletal. His body, typically a lizard-like hide that's tightly wrapped around ribs, with a constant flexing of muscles as he begins moving forward. You see his entire body warp and shape. His neck begins to get a little bit extruded out. His face becoming a little bit more lizard-like, a little bit more draconian, and then you can even see like horns that now come back off of him. He's like even looking as the rest of his 6 legs begin moving forward. The 2 in his front are like, what the fuck is happening here?
It's horrific initially, but then you're all right. The sounds of this place constantly seem to shift between muted and sharp. Everything around you is neither dark nor bright. It's a little bit difficult to see because you're still inside of a tunnel, but you can kind of see that there's a little bit more just on the outside, as if you were walking through a glass tunnel under an aquarium. All around you, the trees, every now and then, a branch hangs out of the darkness, and there you can see apples that seem to have no dimension. It's just something that is the silhouette of an apple. And forests themselves that seem to rise up out of a blackness that is inky and indistinct. You can see light here and there, and when you finally approach an area that you think is wide open, it's an illusion. The presence of small berries, bioluminescent, appear on nearby bushes. Small floral creatures sitting there waving in an imaginary wind. The outline of their petals subtly glowing and veins pulsing with radiant light from the ground itself. The trees, though the majority of everything that you see is in that kind of grayscale monotone, there is definitely life here, more persistent. There's no green around to absorb the sun like your own body. The trees, the bushes, etc., none of them have that. Instead, you can see that the land is constantly nourishing everything because you can see the vitality of it pulsing in everything you look at. The rocks themselves, quartz normally reflecting sunlight or what have you, seem to reflect the bioluminescence of actually, they are also glowing. But as you pass by it, the glow seems to change based on the perspective. Things don't work normally here. Shadows don't necessarily exist in a place that is all entirely shadow. There's variance of light, but it seems to be more life that is causing the defining effect. And it takes a little bit of time, but finally you arrive in a place that has other creatures just like him. They begin talking to each other, odd chimes replacing the whoosh of wind through leaves. You hear it as if time itself were moving on a scale that it's odd. The life outside, which you were able to see as you walked through the tunnel, seemed to get slower and slower as you walk through. The creatures now sitting or standing around in a glade, all of them looking curious, stopping what they are doing. A stone fashioned to be flat, akin to a table, lying on top of a single pillar, the size of a dining room table. There are some people, or these creatures. Some of them look like humanoids, quite distinct from your captor. They look solid. They even, in some cases, look elven and human, but all seem to have slightly pointed ears regardless of an ancestry that may hearken to something else. One of them steps forward and says something to them in this foreign language. The captor then responds and nudges you forward, something you had become accustomed to over the past mile or so. Morty, looking a little bit comfortable, oddly, steps off to the side and kind of sits, the front of his body held upright by his limbs, the back relaxed. I have a feeling we're not where we used to be. And I don't get the feeling that these things want to kill us. But I think they're going to want to know stuff. I was captured once. They don't act like captors.
Good to know.
One of them who had addressed this humanoid creature, frail, pale skin, not dark, not light, somewhere in between. It's almost an opalescence of shadow that covers its frame. It shimmers here and there, depending on the same way that the rocks did. It looks over. Do you speak Elven, and then switches, or Sylvan?
Both.
Which is the tongue you prefer to speak in?
Sylvan, please.
Switches to Sylvan. You are looking for something people consider a myth. Why do you try to find it here?
Because it's real.
How do you know this?
I read it in a book.
Do you believe everything you read?
I believe everything I've read in the Ethereal Codex.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, shit. This is what Bramble was made for. 34. I can tell that this is not exactly what you had in mind.
No, I never have anything planned. You are such an awesome player that you come up with your own ideas.
Thank you.
He sighs for a moment. Looks back up at you. I understand that you have knowledge of this tomb. But I am curious what you believe it will do for you here.
Well, supposedly, it will lead me to the hidden sanctum, where the last seed of the first Leshy lies.
And why would you want something like that?
Because it's supposed to stop all wars and the human encroachment.
With every word that goes on, and even when he is silent and seems to be thinking, you can hear a translation of your words to others. Every time you say something, every time he says something, it continues to go back and forth. Brushing some of the hair from his face, he continues. The existence of the Ethereal Codex is only known to few. This last seed of which you speak, this is a legend. Some consider it a myth. Why would you come here? One person. How do you expect to find this?
Well, according to the Codex, the last seed was placed lovingly in the hidden sanctum, which was guarded by the ever-watchful beings dedicated to preserving Nordaga's legacy.
Are you reading this from somewhere or recalling it from memory?
Recalling it from memory is what Bramble is doing.
Give me a will save. No, it's not will. What the hell am I saying? Give me your lore, academia lore.
Okay. 29. Oh, not 29. Hold on. Let me go back to the chat.
Sure.
23.
You have seen this then?
I read it.
He says something. Your words are translated to some of the others. A lightness begins overtaking the area. Some of the figures behind the tall, shadowy folk look at each other. One steps forward. Speaking to you in Sylvan, it seems to be pondering what to do other than to say this. This is very curious.
You take a look at this creature and you can't tell exactly what it is. It seems to be wearing more a skin of shadow, but underneath it is something else. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Oh my god, I have too many windows. 24.
At one point, you see that the shadows lapse some, and you see what appears to be a human-sized young teen.
Like
Devoid
inside.
of color, as is commensurate with the entire area. But what's that? Yeah, inside, as if it is able to adopt the form of those that are around.
Are you my first test?
You see a slick smile come across the teen's face, and then the shadow adopts it at the same time. I am not a test. That you have arrived here is your test. But you're going to have to get to the Citadel in order to pick up what you're looking for. I find it most curious.
What is your name?
Around here, I adopt the names of those around. What is your name?
Bramble. I, too, adopt the names of those I am around.
Then you understand. My name is Tenebris.
Tenebris. Where can I find the Citadel?
That's the easy part. It lies at the other side of this country. Traveling there will not be difficult. We can move very fast here. Have you ever been in the Umbra?
The Hubra?
The Land of Shadows.
Can't say that I have. It kind of looks like this would be the Land of Shadows. It's a little mysterious.
Have you been here previously?
I don't think so.
Have you ever experienced this?
No, I can't say that I have.
This is why I'm rolling dice on the desk, because he's just like hatching. Buddy.
Morty, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, I got excited and I found a small little thing and I had to sit in it.
That's now Ragan's voice.
Ragan's voice. Buddy, stop. I love you desperately. Poor boy. Move. Anyway, what was the last thing you said? I'm trying to roll dice here.
I think I said I can't say that I have been here.
Travel works very differently in this realm. But the Citadel lies at the other end of the country. Take about 20 minutes to get there. What is the problem with what you are looking for, though, is getting in. That is not controlled by us.
There's sentinels, stone golems, right?
You know of this.
It's the hidden sanctum. I think I told the scout and I told the other guy, I've read it. Like, I saw the ethereal codex and I read its pages.
I understand that you have said this. This does not mean that it is believable. Very few have access to it. It is guarded by a creature that was permanently transformed by Something that happened a very long time ago.
Aviance?
That is a name that it only goes by. Yes. That
What
was
do you
not
mean, a
always his
creature?
name.
He's just a man. A magic man, but a man.
Used to be. He has been cursed to watch over the Ethereal Codex. That you know his name would indicate. Lend some truth to what you say. This shadow human person begins to move off to the side, letting the others to converse amongst themselves. Your captor now completely engrossed in the conversation with the others around the stone table. On the stone table, you see various objects, each of the objects themselves containing words that seem to go along on the outlines as if all the objects themselves were nothing more than wire frames. On a closer inspection, you can see that it's actually representing concepts and ideas in a three-dimensional space rather than just mere words. Sounds and ideas and so much more are formed by sound and by written word on all of these things. Sometimes they end up touching some of these objects and they begin hearing things about 20 times faster than what you might otherwise have in the material world.
And it's like three-dimensional kind of.
The
and
objects
like,
themselves they're like three-dimensional wireframe versions of other things. In this case, however, you're also looking at more geometries. But if you were to pay any real close attention to it, you would realize that some of those geometries are mountains and others are small bushes, but the scales are all completely off. And then you realize, no, the scales are fine. The words on, or the sounds, or the it's almost like waveforms. You can see the shadows are moving. Give me a perception check with misfortune.
If I guess what I think it is, will I be able to roll with fortune?
It's not what you think it is. It's not based off of a movie that we just recently saw.
No, that's not what it's actually based off of an old episode of this.
Shit! I assumed wrong. Yeah, what do you got?
I'm gonna role play it. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I fucking love that. I've been drinking like several of these. I'm gonna hit the head. I'll be right back.
All right, I'm gonna vamp.
Yeah.
What do we got in chat? Because I'm not even in chat. In the chat, I have a theory. Here we go. It's a theory that I'm gonna not die. If you are not following Myriad X, MYRIAD_X, please go follow her. I'm going to shout her out because right now she's streaming character token art, and I think that's for our game on Thursday. So do that and follow her. There she is. And I'm so excited. Hi, Drown, and oh my god, Myriad is lurking. KJ, crazy. Badass Rockets, hello. Okay, I have a theory. I have not. I wanna make sure I don't wanna fuck it up. Had to give Raffle a hard time over there a few seconds ago at Myriad's channel. Why? Because he was there, not here. That's okay. This is a cozy stream. Some people aren't into the cozy, but that's okay. It's about to get fucking weird. All right. I found out Myriad was doing streaming character art now, and I think it's for her character for Thursday's game.
Is it?
It might be.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome. All right.
Okay. So Bramble sees this table, the stone table, and she's in a cave, right? And it's kind of the same situation as that big wooden tree trunk table in is it Thicket to get home, and the capital with that council. So she's gonna go up to this table.
Oh, so you break apart from the guy who's talking to you.
Well, he paused for a second, and
He stepped aside.
Yeah. So I went through to like approach that table.
Okay.
Right? It's not too far away, right?
No.
Okay. And I'm kind of looking at it and remembering that there was that table where if I manipulate the surface, it becomes a map. And I look at these objects, that's like the mountains and bushes and stuff like that. And I'm guessing it's just like a sound map, like a different kind of map. And I'm going to try to slowly and respectfully like put my hands on the table and try to manipulate the surface to move the objects around.
They look at you and you see one of them start reaching towards you and you hear "Nada!" and they pull back. The voice who said that is the one on the path. It does exactly as you expect it to.
Oh god. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I got so excited.
There seems to be an overall sense of
I'm gonna say I've seen one of these before, and I'm gonna
the guy
to,
that you were talking to steps up close.
Yeah.
And now you're looking eye to eye. And now he's of normal human height. Encased in the shadow.
Okay.
No longer a teen, more like an adult now.
Will this show me where the hidden sanctum is?
Didn't you receive an answer once upon a time?
Touche. And I'm gonna start moving my hands to kind of follow where I think it will be. And I'm going to not go based off of what I read about the hidden sanctum in the Ethereal Codex, but I'm going to base it off of what I've heard from who told me. Was it one of the Zoroili riders? Yeah, I think it was the lady in the village. Didn't she tell me where it was? It was she was the one that said that it's in shadow.
No.
It wasn't her? Fuck. Can I try to recall like who it was in the game?
Absolutely. You actually already said the name. Where you heard it, and it was in Thicket Home.
Oh, hold on. Got it. I got it. It was... Oh my god. Hold on. Here it is. There it is. It's, Alar.
He looks at you. You finally made it.
Wait, you didn't say your name was Alar?
You see the shadow begin melting away in all causes of illusion.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm glad that you came.
Wait, are we in Nightshade Hollow right now?
No. No, we are very far to the north in Detechlom.
So, hold on. If you knew where I needed to be, why didn't you just take me straight here?
You think such artifacts belong in the hands of those who are not experienced in the ways of the world?
Oh, that's what I'll what was her name? Hold on. That's what Altrea said.
Yes, she has.
You know Altrea? God damn it. I'm gonna look gonna look at my amulet and then be like, we're gonna have a serious talk when I come back to the circle.
And immediately comes back and goes, no need.
This bitch. Oh my god, I hate her. She's my favorite. I like tuck it back like aggressively into my vines.
So, you've arrived at the Citadel and you have met so many on your journeys. I have to admit, when I first saw you in Thickedome, I was very impressed by the progress that you have made, the battles that you had picked up, the people that you have met. I was not expecting you to finally make it here. The council back at home in Willow Park Thicket or in the larger country of Tirfol Breg, they will not listen to us.
What happened with Lysanti?
From Wildwood Glade?
Yeah, she said that she was going to send the 2 scouts to Creel Galal.
The scouts had never returned.
And was that not a sign to Ilaria that...
It was, but Creel Galal has pre-existed so many things. It pre-existed the humans. Creel Galal is something to take a look at, and something we can defend against. But everything else at this point is nothing compared to the incursion which is occurring due to mortal expansion. Creel Galal is created as a curse from a little while ago. It was a difficult time, but at least it is the same curse that brought about this whole land as well. And this was deemed to be the safest place for the last seed to exist. Beyond these woods and through the country itself, you will encounter many odd things, things that have long since been forgotten by mortals since their creation. And now you are coming to get something that existed once, was forgotten even by the gods. But you are seeking will restore harmony, but it may not be in the way that you think it is. Nordaga is very mercurial, going this way and that. A heavy rain still floods the woods and lifts trees up from their mighty roots. I applaud you for getting where you are going. You may be the one who can do this. You are of Nordaga's children. We are not. And the test that you will face ahead will need that advantage. The stone golems that are there and so much more is going to be difficult. But those are things of the mortal realm. Those are the easy things. What lies beyond that, no one knows. But I have a feeling you do.
The council that you're a part of, do the rest of them even want this?
They do, but they do not know how to appreciate the need for it on such a sudden level. Humans, in their eagerness to survive, expand out like so many types of animals that have come before them. The trees do not watch with a rise and fall of the sun like humans do. They watch for the passing of seasons. And every year, as we go around all of Arios, they mark it, and that to them is a day. They do not understand. The short-lived ones are the ones who have the true power in this new world.
Outside, the Leshy spirits told me that if the seed leaves... I'm sorry, I forget. I don't want to mispronounce it.
Do not pronounce it as you would in Sylvan, with a casual TH sound of the tongue. It is broken down into various words, into various accents, syllables. DET is date. He. Chlom.
Det he chlom.
Det he chlom.
Det he chlom.
I thought it unusual that you pronounce it as Dathalom. Most people do.
Well, nobody wants to call it Death Gloom, that's for sure.
It has a shitty PR campaign.
The Leshy is outside.
What do Leshies know of the Land of Shadow?
The outside is the Land of Shadow.
You are in the Land of Shadow. You are now of Shadow.
So the one's not of Shadow. So out there.
Yes.
Up there.
Yes.
They said that if the last seed leaves Detechlom, that this place will no longer be protected. Is that true?
It is possible.
Are they gonna let me leave?
Who is they? The Leshy? The Guardians?
The Guardians.
When Avianth, the one that you know as Avianth, had the last seed, it was agreed that it needed to be protected. It contained in it, like all seeds do, a blueprint for a new growth. If the last seed is used, peace will be brought to this world, because nature will reclaim it. Right now, this realm does not touch the material in all fashions. It is only here that it actually you can walk through a gate and come through. This realm is a little bit different than what others may call Shadowfell or what have you. This is far and away removed, but yet it is not. That is why the last seed cannot affect the mortal realm from here. If it did, Sithlia's children may be no more.
Wait, so the last seed, the hidden sanctum's in the Umbra?
Oh yes, that is why it is hidden. It is hidden from mortal view. They would never be able to get to it.
How long has it been there?
This is difficult to say. 1,000 years?
And the Guardians, that guy, he moved like
just as
up
you
there.
do now. Yes.
Just
The realm
time...
of shadow. Oh, yes. Time moves much slower outside than it does here. This is why we are able to carefully plan. We can achieve in 20 years what the mortal realm can achieve in one. You will find a great many things that have been made possible here due to that difference in how time is perceived. The scholars of the mortal realm say that travel through the realm of shadows is 20 times faster, but it comes at a price. Distance and time are always linked, according to her plan.
Lordaga's plan?
Sithlia is the creator of all things material, the shadow realm, and all things tangential. But when Sithlia was cast out into the Isles of Erin, due to the murder of her great consort, the first murder, many new things were created. And that includes the Leshy when Nordaga came to be. You see, Sithlia can never fully leave her creation. Instead, a part of her was left behind as she was torn away from the realm of life and death As a deity of pure life, she would never be able to exist in this now corrupted land. But Nordaga became a new deity, a portion of Scythia left behind, that which oversees the natural process. In order to assist with that, just as Scythia had created the dragon in order to create the entire cosmos, so did Nordaga create the Leshy to finish creating nature in its view. And so the Leshy was out there, but there was always a plan for humans and humanoids and elves and dwarfs and all these to exist. Nordaga understood that at that time, Scythia would never allow the destruction of so many. But enough time has passed and Nordaga is now only seen as their own. And in truth, perhaps that is the case. And the last seed of the Leshy would restore this place to Nordaga's own plan. You would do away with me and humans and elves and dwarves and halflings and Tanau and dragons and centipedes. You would do away with it all so that Nordaga and all of nature can continue on a new process. You would essentially rebirth this world. But fortunately, it is only this world, not all of universe.
Wait, so if I bring the last seed out and it touches
the mortal realm,
then
if you plant it. But if it exists in the mortal realm for too long, it will find a way to plant itself.
But either way, it will essentially end all of us to
Not the Leshy, not nature. The arboreals, the flora it is posited would stay. They do not own cities that have caused the forest to disappear.
And you would let that happen?
No, I don't wish for it to happen.
Does the Circle of the Verdant Dawn know about this?
I do not believe that others outside of this area, none of them have ever made it to here. They are engrossed in the day-to-day activities, as good as they are. They see trees and they want to keep the trees. They see grass and they do not want to see the removal of that and instead a building go in place. They much rather prefer that we live in nests in trees or in caves. Morty's like, what's wrong with caves? Nothing. The Circle of the Verdant Dawn is myopic in its view, as are all humanoids.
I think... I don't know if this is gonna work. Hold on, I got itchy. Okay. I want to see if I have an actual feat for this. If not, I'm gonna roleplay it anyways.
What are you trying to do?
Does my amulet open like a locket?
No.
But it can break.
It's made out of wood.
I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna say, can you hear everything that's being said right now?
You can give me a perception check.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
21.
21? You get a empathetic feeling from the other end, which feels like discomfort at someone being discovered.
Okay, I'm gonna hold up my finger to hold on, don't tell me his name. Alar.
It looks like he's about to say something and then stops.
I will be right back. And I'm gonna pull the amulet over my head and I'm going to say, we need to meet right now. And I'm going to stick it on the ground and stomp on it. And I'm doing shameless request.
Oh, what does that do?
So shameless request is I could downplay the consequence or outrageousness of my request using sheer brazenness and charm. When I request something, you reduce any DC increases for making an outrageous request by 2, and if I roll a crit failure for my request, you get a failure instead. While this means you can never cause your target to reduce their attitude towards you by making a request, they eventually tire of requests even though they still have a positive attitude towards you.
Where is this?
It's in my bonus feats.
Oh, it's under feats.
It's a bonus feat underneath Leshy Familiar.
Oh, it's way down. Oh, that is so cool. Okay.
It's something I've had since the beginning, and I've never been able to use it. And I feel like this is a really fucking good time because Altrea keeps like denying my request for a meeting, and I'm like, oh no, this is no longer email. This is a meeting.
Okay, hold on.
I'm pissed. Bramble is
I want to hear everything that you're thinking right now, please.
Okay. So she stomps on it and it splinters and
well, we're gonna find out what happens to it.
Okay.
What is the request that you're making
The request is I'm holding it up to me and I'm saying we need to meet right now. I'm trying to like instigate like a vision.
Okay, so you are going to okay. All right, that's cool. So
she's in trouble.
You're gonna roll. You're gonna make a request action, which is diplomacy skills. So let's have you roll that.
Okay. Where are you, diplomacy? Come on. 20.
You hear a hesitance. There's not a way that I can make my way there. Not in the amount of time that you want me to, but I can meet you outside of that realm in several days.
Meet me in my head. And then I'm gonna say, hold on. I'm gonna say, Thalora, Leora, Branwyn, Phelan, Seraphina, Rowan, Oakley, and Willow. If you're hearing this, you will die if I complete this mission. And I don't think Altrea is completely honest about it.
When do you step on that?
I stepped on it already, so she would have answered after I stepped on it.
Oh.
Unless if it makes more sense, I'll step on. Her foot's on it, and it starts, and she's pushing more pressure on it.
So like, you know, okay, just to clarify, you know that whenever the trinket is off of your body, you can't hear them. You know that. When Morty had it, he heard it. Remember that.
If I'm stepping on it, though, is that okay? Because I'm not wearing shoes.
It's like a ring. When you put on a ring, and the ring then takes on power. If you drop the ring, you touch it, it doesn't do anything.
I go to like make a motion like I'm gonna take it off and break it.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Badass is like, do it. Like, do it. So
I fucking will.
You hear some commotion. I am not lying to you. I am not lying.
Did the others know? Do you know? I'm addressing the others.
No one else can hear except for me.
Tell them.
I was not aware that this was a thing. We know that it can reset, but
they will all die. You and...
Is there any way around it?
What's his name? I'm gonna look at Alar, and I kind of like consider asking him. And then I say, if it's Nordaga's way, then no.
I can appreciate where you're going with this. Maybe if we find out a little bit more about it. Everything that we know is based off of myth and legend. How are we ever to know the truth? Even the Codex itself speaks of these things and what happened to it and what the guardians of this item may do if they discover you, but we don't know what it will do. This was a time when the gods walked the earth. How will we ever know? I can understand it if your friends also do not know.
Well, from what it sounds like, most of the Circle of the Verdant Dawn, the ones that would be affected by this, don't know. So before I hang up with you, I need you to tell them. We all have to be on the same page. If I'm the one that was recruited for knowledge, I am disseminating the knowledge to you, and I am speaking from authority that you now have to give that knowledge to them. I'm not doing anything else until they all know, and I need to hear it from you.
Very well. One moment. You don't hear a disconnect. You never really did. It just kind of fades off as if the person that you're talking to, their presence is no longer felt. It may be some time. But you may need to find them.
I'll be honest, I don't know if she would tell them.
Let us assume then. Well, who do you answer to then? Do you answer to yourself? Do you answer to your deity? Do you answer to your own, to someone else? The Circle of the Verdant Dawn is a mortal society created for mortals that are trying to protect a deity that does not ever speak. The deity, Nordaga, never says what Nordaga wants, other than by enacting. We never hear the actual voice of deity. We never hear anything about, I'm going to send an avalanche down your village in 2 days if we don't get a sacrifice. We don't receive these things. In other countries, and bound by geopolitical borders of the mortal imagination, such arbitrary methods, as if nature itself would adhere to this. There's only one place where Nordaga speaks in any way, and that is where the Veiled Gate is, where Evin died. That actual location, people say that they can hear Nordaga's whispers into the land to make it do what it wants. Others say, Archdruids say, it is not Nordaga's voice, but it is the land itself is Nordaga, and the land does not need to speak to itself. It is the whispers of the dead. We don't even know. What you are trying to do to bring peace to this world is noble. But if they were created by something more powerful than Nordaga, then isn't that the will of deity?
I don't... I look at Morty and then back at Alar. I don't even know anymore. I guess I answer to survival. I don't...
Then it is Nordaga that you answer to. Sithlia created life. All of life existed without the presence of death. No one knew what death was. And it was only after Sithlia created another being called Evin that we found out what death was. Others discovered a way to create something. Creation for mortals had never existed. No one ever picked up anything and killed it. People didn't eat, they didn't drink. No animals were killed so their leathers may be worn or plants eaten. Everything just continued to grow and went everything all at once. And he puts his hand down on the table and you see a vast land appear. Creatures extruded out in many different ways. Alien-like beings. Trees that were impossibly tall, some the size of mountains themselves, it seems. And as he extrudes here and there and pulls things up in order to demonstrate what is there, you begin to see what life was like. Then you see a brilliant light of life, but not as in illumination, but as in that stark contrast against which everything else, stark contrast against everything else on the table. And you can see it appear and grow in that area, a being filled with all of Sithlia's unending divine energy. And then time passing. There were no clouds. There was always just ever-presence of life. Nothing had true bodies in the sense of today. They were shaped in ways that seemed odd. But then you also see at the same time an entire story of history unveiling before you. All of it transpiring all at the exact same time. May I have a will save to see if you remain sane?
Oh, God damn. 31.
You learn to protect yourself by willing the visions that you see, or willing your comprehension of what's happening. You kind of stop it in your head. You recognize through perception that things are continually changing, but you learn that you can focus in on something and kind of see a blip of what it is now, what it has been, and what it will be. You understand that what you were looking at doesn't work in as a story does, with a beginning, a middle, and an end. All of linear time doesn't exist. You begin to understand a little bit of reality. And when you see this deity die, this demi-deity, Avin, die, you also see all of Sithlia's life go out into the world, but now with almost like black veins of mortal taint. And when that occurred, everything changed. You see what I mean? This was never Sithlia's plan. Sithlia's plan was a place for everlasting life. And as you can see here, Sithlia was not able to stay. Now you see the table. Now Sithlia also appears, but you don't see a figure. You kind of get an idea. You're looking at concepts. You can see that there is a concept of the beginning and the middle of the end, all wrapped in one, and a single being that looks like all things at all times. It's an impossible thing to imagine. And so Sithlia ends up dividing and gets separated, much like a mirror shattering, pieces going everywhere, a glitter of divine energy just raining down upon all of reality, with the bulk of it being sequestered to some place off in the distance. And what remained of Sithlia in that moment was the portion that oversaw nature, or at least represented it. Elar continues. No deity oversees anything. They're blind. They're dumb. There's nothing to them. They're the personification of the Tirsar's will upon all of things. That I exist, that you exist, was imagined before time itself. Not we as individuals, but the concept of our being was made possible. Sithlia just was the thing. It was the blueprint. And then you see Nordaga, or the concept of Nordaga, seeping in, and that divine energy also marked with arcana, or the arcane energy, flood across all of the universe, allowing arcane magic to exist. Divine energy, tainted by mortal will. And as that happens, you see new plants come to be. But still, with that spark of creation from Scythlia, Nordaga gives birth to humanoids in the form of plants. And you see one rise. And this one here, this, according to these stories, and we have tried to painstakingly create this theater for us, so that we can better understand our place in things. It's a difficult concept. But this one here, we believe, is what the first Leshy looked like. And you can see it. It looks just like you. You see Bramble on the table. Only a little bit of their seeds growing out of flowers that then drop them. And the seeds spread, and you can see that these seeds are concepts and ideas, and all of them go into the earth. And you can see new trees now coming over, trees that can drink the water in the earth and take Arius's power and churn that around to create sugars that then feed its leaves to make it larger, and then new bark. And you begin to see the entire life process start in those misshapen creatures or alien-like things that are so difficult to understand. You begin to see some of them come together. And over the course of time, some now have a new covering, and it's called flesh. You see an evolution of other creatures that still retain the hair of their ancestries, and others do not. You see some that are born out of shadow, and that is some of those around. But then he puts his hand on the table. We don't know exactly how the seeds were dispersed, but we do know that the last one, we've never seen it, but we believe it is over there.
All of this, including Leshy's, was created after the death of Avine.
Yes. Indeed,
I'm gonna hold the amulet to. Actually, I'm gonna point to the table. Theoretically, this is of nature, correct?
What?
The table.
Oh, absolutely. Scythlia created this realm, and we live in it. We are Scythlia's creatures.
Brilliant. I'm gonna hold the amulet up to my mouth, and I'm gonna say, if you're not gonna tell them, I will. And then I'm gonna slam my hand. I'm gonna take the amulet off in my hand, slam it on the table.
Okay.
And use Speak with Kindred and Find a Ley Line. And I am going to give a very brief truth.
Don't tell me what you're going to do. Act it out. Let's get this.
Okay. I slam my hand on the table and I speak in Druidic. And I say, my name is Bramble Clove. I come from Willowbark Thicket, and I am in the Umbra, about to find the last seed of the first Leshy. I am calling out to everything of nature to tell you that if I find it and I plant it in the ground, in the mortal realm, everything that is created after the death of Avine can and probably will die. They say it's Nordaga's way, or Scythlia's way. but I want you to know the truth because I think we all have the right to decide for ourselves. I am about 40, I'm going to say whatever number, but you just correct it, 40 miles outside of the gate of Daithlom, which is Daithglom. There's a war, so please don't come here if you're not prepared to fight. But if anybody has a problem with being told that they're going to die and not being able to decide for themselves, then take it from my hands before it touches the earth. And then I release.
And that was Speak with Kindred?
That was Speak with Kindred.
I need you to make a diplomacy. Yep.
Okay, and it was in Druidic.
Okay, so you're gonna, right, so you're reaching out to any plants or fungi that are in the area that are, what do you got?
19.
So the question is whether or not you speak with anything that is in this area, but you're going to take this amulet. We'll say it's like this. You're going to take this amulet and you're going to, I love this thing, and you're going to smack it down on that table.
Yeah. So it's got its truth. It's got my truth connected to it. It's got the Umbra connected to it. A map connected to it. There's like a lot of shit happening.
Sure. Okay. Okay. When you slam it down, there's a... And you can see coming out of it where it connects with the table, lines of light begin to appear. And you see like a whole fan of lines begin to appear all over it, and the shapes themselves disappear into the table. The words that made up those shapes and the concepts float off and reunite with whatever shadows they had been created from. The table itself looks like a network of lines and nodes all over the place. Wire frames of reality everywhere. A map of ley lines everywhere. And underneath the amulet, a glowing light. No ley line appears brighter than any other. In fact, you can see from the distant nodes on the table a pulsing that all leads back to where you touch the amulet to the table.
I look up at Alar as I like put the amulet back on, and I say,
as soon as you lifted it from the table,
yeah,
it's gone.
Okay. That includes you.
I am aware. Nordaga is of the realm of nature. I don't know if anyone knows if it will extend into this realm or not. We're toying with a very powerful magic if what the myths and legends say is true. How will you find out? How will we know?
Well, I'm going to continue on my journey. And
Scythia created life and meant for life to be eternal. Nordaga is a product of death coming in and a brand new natural cycle coming around. If this will recreate everything, will it not reinforce the notion that death belongs in this world? And therefore war will continue?
perhaps.
In which case, then it will do nothing.
It will either kill everybody and do nothing, or do nothing. We're all created from death, essentially.
Yes.
Which means, in a way, you also are of nature.
Yes, we all are. I would agree.
So that means, in a way, the Umbra is also of nature because it...
Cithlia created it, yeah.
So I believe I was heard. Now, by how many, I don't know. And if they choose to tell others, I don't know that either. But what I'm hoping for is many autonomous beings meeting me when I walk out, ready to fight for who they follow, which, in a way, is also survival, just like me. It's not my choice. I don't know. I'm capable of doing this. I know I'm smart enough, I'm plucky enough, I'm strong enough, I'm this, that, and the other thing enough. But what makes me qualified to decide who lives and who dies once this is planted? I don't want that.
He finds a stump nearby, sits down on it, rubbing his face. I will show you where the citadel is. I beg of you, since no one else apparently can get in there, and you can, that we at least find out, before anything else, what that seed can do. I will go with you, if you will allow it.
I have to check my horse, and I look back at Morty.
Fuck a horse. What the hell are you? I've got twice as many legs as any of those dumb puppies. I can talk. You ever seen a horse talk? They look dumb.
Yes. I have seen a horse talk.
Well, they're dumb.
Okay, Morty.
Morty like crosses two of his arms, and then the second set of arms crosses. It's like, I'm a horse now.
Such a go horse.
Stop that! And he turns away and walks over someplace else.
Morty says it's fine.
I did not say it's... hold on. I did not say it's fine. And he snaps his head back down at the ground for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see his eyes follow, like he starts looking between his legs, and then he kind of lifts up his legs, and you can see a portion of the ground kind of like that, and it's almost as like there's an animal burrowing under the ground. The ground itself is not responding in the way that normal dirt were if something were under there. You don't see it getting broken apart. Instead, it's more like a cat under a sheet of shadow. Okay? And it comes at your feet, and then you can see a crack form. And the crack then unfolds, and the land itself just absorbs like a flower that's opening, but the petals then lie flat, and those petals then get absorbed by the land again. And instead, you see a small creature rise up. It appears to be something like a Leshy.
Hello?
Speaking in Sylvan.
Yeah.
You were the one who called out to all of us.
Yes, I am.
Your voice was heard far and wide. The trees now speak of it. What are you going to do?
I'll be honest. I don't know yet. But Maybe I should find out if it actually exists first.
I will tell the others.
And goes back into the ground. A portion of the ground comes back up, and then it just,
Nope.
you see it. What's up?
Don't go.
It stops. You see the lump in the soil kind of stop, and whole thing it unfolds.
Yes.
What's your name?
Pebble.
Okay, it's nice to meet you. That's all.
It goes back. Morty's like, this place is getting weirder and weirder.
You can't eat that one.
It's already rock. I don't eat dirt. I eat people.
It's called fast food.
You see a foot just kind of go down on the lump, and then the lump just go. It like deforms and reforms around his foot, and just continues like,
Ah, damn it! I'm gonna starve in this place.
Okay. I'm like shouldering my backpack. Time to go, I guess, to the Citadel.
are you all right? Let us go to the Citadel.
To travel in this world, all you need to do is just simply know where you are going, and then you start moving there. Sometimes, though, when you see an object, you don't necessarily always have the ability to go through it. Because you're going to travel much faster than what you are accustomed to, but you will not realize it. Give great caution to how you do this.
Give me a will save.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, so this is kind of like, I look at Morty when we were in the cave and there was that hoagie.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
What the hell's
You
a
just
hoagie?
You remember that sandwich? We saw the sandwich thing.
What?
We wanted the sandwich, and we thought about the sandwich, and the sandwich appeared in the cave.
Oh, yeah! That's
So
right,
it's
yeah.
like a
I don't know what the
thing.
hell a hoagie is, though.
That's what the
You mean a wedge?
Zorley Riders called it. So
It's a sub?
So
It's,
so we're
it's,
gonna
it's
go.
pork roll. It's not cheddar ham. I'm just saying. Well, I'm just... yeah. I remember the food. Yeah. You had me imagine something into existence, and it did. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, smart ass. So we're gonna think about it, and it's gonna appear basically, but reverse. We're gonna go to it. I rolled a 27. Hopefully, with that not like recollection of how things work.
Yeah. You do it, and it's not a problem whatsoever. Morty, on the other hand, is like,
Right.
onward we go, and he goes backwards. And you see him, he smacks into what is apparently a tree, and the tree just goes and the shadows just kind of bounce him back out like rings, like a rope on a ring, and then you know, like in a boxing ring, and then he just like he like skids forward across the shadow, and so much of the shadow land is just building up in front of him until finally it kind of smooths out, like somebody just took a sheet just and just like laid it all out. And he stands back up.
I'll follow.
Yeah, okay.
He goes,
Well, all right. One step. Nope.
Oh no, you
Nope.
you did it so good last time.
One step.
Whoa!
it's smacking. He after a little bit of time, Morty finally get, yeah, it's like he finally gets you, or he finally gets it. It takes him a little bit of time, and the three of you, well, four of you, because Barbara is still with you, continue. Oh boy. It doesn't take too long, and it is rather odd. It does take about 20 minutes, like you said. Every single step that you take seems to be 20. You understand that you are moving faster relative to what you perceive speed and time to be. The buildings, you go through villages, you can tell that there are people that live here in villages, and their normal life, whatever normal is here, does continue. But you also came across and passed by many troops that were all going to be pouring out of the gates of Detechlum. The whole path that it takes is winding, moving back and forth. And when you finally arrive, it's an odd thing. You don't see much of anything of a citadel. Instead, you see an area that is just pure black. But it's not the kind of black as in the absence of light necessarily. You kind of get the idea that there is an absence of knowledge.
Does it look, the Citadel, does it look kind of like what the outside of that pocket dimension would look like, but like the opposite of it? The one that held the Ethereal Codex?
Can you describe that again?
Yeah, so from the inside, it was, I believe, a round room.
Yes.
And it had a dome, and it was a glass ceiling, and the sky wasn't real sky.
Yes.
But it would change based on what I willed it to be.
What are you thinking?
So does the Citadel from the outside look like that building? Like, does it have a glass dome?
No.
Okay.
No, you're kind of getting the idea that this is an absence of knowledge rather than a physical location.
Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I was thinking maybe it was like an empty library. Like it was like
no, you don't see a building. You see an absence of space and more.
Like it hasn't been thought yet, or like...
Correct.
Okay. That's cool. Ooh, I don't like that. Okay. How close am I to that, like, precipice?
There's no real outcropping or anything like that, but when the road turns, then you just see a stretch that seems to go on forever. But as you continue going towards it, you realize that it's not going on forever. You're just not getting any closer. Things are moving past you, but you're not getting any closer.
Are there stone golems around?
You do not see anything that would suggest that there is a building or a structure around, other than that which is passing by you, which seems to be like there's a tree here and a rock there. In the distance, you can see a massive city that is, that you hadn't touched on, that you can kind of see, parallax is happening. You can kind of see like it's kind of moving away from you, or it's a bit, or that you're about to pass it, but you're not actually getting closer to your destination. It's a mind fuck.
Yeah. So I remember in the Codex there were puzzles of elemental manipulation and tests of wit and intuition.
Yes.
So I'm gonna look at Alar and say, is this the test?
I've been here several times, and I do not know how to get beyond. I do not know if I have what it takes. If this is a test, I repeatedly fail it, or I simply lack the understanding that it is a test. I fear that very few people will be able to assist you. And this is why you have been seen as a hope. You're the only one who has come this far from the outside. Others have come, but no one has an understanding of it, who has also seen the Ethereal Codex, who has also met with others of power.
Did this road look the same to you as it does to me?
I must admit, no. It seems much more approachable here. Like you understand that this is a road. When I first came here, I was able to see that this was a place that would lead somewhere, but I did not know where. I would choose right and then I would go right, or I would choose left and then I would go left. The road just kept going in whatever direction I wanted it to, but I never got anywhere near a place as determined as this, meaning this is a straight road. I've never seen a straight road before.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
He looks at you curious, and you cast it. You detect the presence of magic in the area. It's on him, it's on you. And there is a presence of something of divine quality, but it seems to be everywhere.
Is there a pinpoint of the highest rank magic anywhere?
That seems to be everywhere. That would be the highest rank. Yeah, it's not like it's a bright shining light. It's just you understand that what is on you is of lesser quality than that which is outside of you.
Okay. I am... Is it like this road? Is it like, if I step off of the road, will I fall to my death, essentially? Or is there kind of like a vague understanding of existence outside of the road?
You get the impression that there is something out there. It's part of the shadow realm. You look over and you perceive surface.
I'm gonna step on it.
It seems solid.
When I start to walk off the beaten path,
Yes.
do I make any more progress towards the city?
Well, you're not you're not off the beaten path. You're on the road.
But I stepped off the road.
Yeah, you did.
And now I'm back on the road. Okay, cool.
As soon as you stepped
cool.
forward, you were on the road.
Okay. I'm going to...
I like what Badass Rockets is saying. Picturing this plant, hearing he is about to be nuked. By the way, no, he's kind of like a... Not that? Do you know? Do you know what he is?
Who?
Alar.
Oh yeah, Alar is humanoid. He is... Hold on. I do know what he is.
Do you?
He is... I do.
Okay.
He is... He's what Ophelia Moore's ancestry was.
A fletchling. A fletchling.
Oh, is he a fletchling? Yeah. I thought he was the ones with the tattoos on their heads.
One with the Aang from Avatar?
No. Evindale.com/ancestries. They're the type of clane that have
wow, you're pulling out fucking Evindale lore. You're talking about the Corvidon.
Yes, Corvidon. That's what Ophelia Moore came from.
Then no, he's a fletchling.
Okay, cool. Well, then I was wrong.
He seems to be more of like like half fletchling and half something.
Did I actually write it though? Let me see this really quick. strong jaw, grayish skin, nightshade hollow. That's all I wrote.
Yeah, he's a fletchling.
Cool.
And you see others like him throughout this area.
I'm going to try to walk towards it with my eyes closed, see what happens.
What are you thinking about?
I have why did I get this? I picked up a feat which was really cool. It is, hold on, I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing.
Okay.
Where's my character sheet? It is cool and it has to do with the story.
Okay.
That's why it's important that I say what it is.
Okay.
And this is not me.
You good?
Yes. It's a feat that gives me some Fey spells. Is it this? Because nope. Druid? Maybe Druid feats. Hold on. Yes. Fey Caller.
Read that out loud. Okay, what is that? What's the description of that?
You have learned some of the tricks the Fey use to bend primal magic towards illusions and trickery.
Oof.
So I kind of want to use illusions with the illusion, like that's going on here.
Okay.
So it says I get primal spells, illusory disguise, illusory object, and illusory scene, and veil to my spell list as primal spells. So I was thinking doing illusory scene.
Okay.
And I wanted to build a bridge. Like, I want Bramble to be like, well, if this isn't the path, if this is somebody else's path that I have to take to get to the city, I'm going to make my own path and get there my own way. So I wanted to use illusory scene. I don't think, though, hold on. Illusory scene, I think, has a size limit. But it's really cool, so I was hoping it didn't matter.
Okay.
Illusory scene is... Where are you? Got it. You form an imaginary scene that includes up to 10 discrete creatures or objects of various sizes, all of which must be within the spell's area. These elements generate appropriate sounds and smells, and they feel right to the touch. Elements of an illusory scene are incapable of speech. Unlike with the illusory creature spell, creatures in your scene lack combat abilities. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. Oh my god. Okay, it lacks knowledge, right? Fuck yes. Oh, I'm gonna fill it with knowledge. I am going to do an illusory scene and make Willow Bark Thicket. I want to make the scene as if it's going from my home to the archives, like I was going to work.
Describe what we see in first person and how you're doing it and how you're bringing it about.
Okay. So I'm like
this
looking
is your
at,
challenge as you describe it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the road ahead and I hear what Alar says about it being like, it's not the same for him as it was for me. So if it's not the same, that means that this is tailored to me, but it doesn't even know me. But it does know that it doesn't know because it lacks knowledge, right? And I don't even wait for him to answer. And then I say, so what if, and I start to like move my hands around. And then I'm like, what if I filled it with what I know and a path that I've taken to get to the knowledge every day for my entire life, as long as I can remember. And there was a little garden, and Barbara used to hang out right there and follow me to work. And this is where I would get the acorn bread. And then this is where I would stop and hang out with Foxglove. And this is where the mayor would always give some kind of snide comment as to like how much of an impact I was making on the community. And I never really cared. And he'd be fucking laughing now, right? And I keep like stepping up further and further, and I'm like building this whole like stroll ahead of me. And I'm like,
And as it does,
where...
you begin seeing shadows begin to form. Clocks start appearing out of nothing, spheres initially, then flattening out, and time itself begins to rewind. And as you do, things begin to take shape. Continue.
And this is where I met Darian for the first time. And this is where the one time I dropped my acorn. This is funny. I dropped the acorn bread, and Barbara ate it, but she didn't realize that she was allergic to acorn bread. So she learned real quick. But anyways,
you find yourself, and you continue to describe everything. Now you find yourself standing at the precipice of a vast nothingness. The road you traveled, woven from the very fabric of the shadows, seems to end abruptly, swallowed by an impenetrable void. But deep within, the inkling of knowledge that you have given it begins to stir, and whispers of ancient secrets start beckoning you closer. For every tidbit of information you give it, you then begin to receive one back, and with that, a small path only the size of half of your foot appears in front of you, as if to hover in the blackness. What do you do?
Are they still with me?
They're looking at you. They're like... Morty's just frozen his mouth. Alar's like concerned, but he also understands that he's very much out of place here. He does not have anything that he can possibly say.
I don't think you all can fit.
No one knows.
I'll be right back. And I step on the path.
You step on it.
Yeah.
Okay. As you take a tentative step forward, the air around you begins to quiver.
It's not tentative, by the way.
Very well. Thank you.
Very confident.
You can see it's resonating with your heartbeat. And the void ahead starts to undulate like a formless expanse that's rippling with the surface of like a disturbed pond. And with each pulse of your heart, the ripples grow more and more pronounced, their patterns more and more intricate. You recall the knowledge that you saw of the ley lines on the table. You see that also spread out, but you also see underneath you is in fact the brightest spot. And then suddenly, from the depths of this abyss, you see a colossal structure beginning to emerge. It's as if the shadows themselves are weaving together, stitching the very essence of the void into some kind of a tangible form. And then that was once hidden from the eyes of the world and the Umbra itself now unfolds before you in a mesmerizing dance of darkness and light. Its walls, crafted from solid shadow stone, now shimmer with an ethereal glow, their surfaces reflecting a muted luminescence of the shadow realm itself. The citadel's towers begin to rise majestically, piercing a canopy of darkness far above, one that spirals, like reaching out as if to touch stars which you had never seen before. And the stars that you see here are not like any star pattern that you've ever witnessed previously. The walls
The walls themselves have become adorned with intricate carvings, and you can see shadows manipulating each of the carvings as if to animate it, telling tales of epochs gone by, of battles fought and mysteries that have been completely unraveled. And each stone, though birthed from shadow, seems to hold a story, a fragment of the Citadel's own history, vast in nature. You continue walking, I assume.
Yeah.
A grand entrance starts to come into view, flanking the massive doors, all of them as if it were oak itself, but carved again out of shadow, brought around by bands of iron, because this is what you've seen doors look like, but again of shadow. Flanking it, 2 statues, not of mundane stone, but of the same solid stone that makes up the citadel. The statues, towering and imposing, are standing there, looking at you, silent sentinels. Their forms, though carved from darkness, exude a sense of life and vitality. You felt that previously, the life and vitality. Their eyes, deep and inscrutable, they seem to be watching you, assessing your very intent. Representations of ancient guardians that are both welcome and a warning. Their presence, which it's palpable, it emanates from them like a glow. It speaks of a timeless nature of whatever this place is, whomever constructed it, if it was ever constructed at all, unless you are its construction, its architect in the moment. Everything around this place seems to be fashioned out of the very fabric of the universe itself. Maybe that is what the Shadow Realm is, not a byproduct of an absence of light, but maybe its own thing. As you stand between them, the weight of their gaze coming down on you, it's a gentle reminder of what lies beyond. Well, it's what you came to find. Now that's fully revealed, knowledge is not just about seeing, but about understanding. The citadel, once hidden in plain sight, now stands before you. A testament to the power of enlightenment, a beacon in the heart of the universe. What are you going to do?
I adjust my backpack and I walk forward.
The doors silently sway open as if the pressure of your existence simply pushes them with will. A passageway beyond continues. It's a long, long passage. No matter how far you go, the statues themselves remain exactly where they are, as if you were still standing before them, but the building itself folding in, around, through, and past them.
I know that the Codex had said that the explorers had to surrender to the whims of nature to navigate the twisted maze, or the corridors. So I'm going to in an effort to not have it affect me, Alar was saying that he had to move when he moved left, it moved he was relying on visual.
Yeah.
I'm going to close my eyes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna walk forward and kind of like just feel it out.
Every step that you take, you're concentrating, depriving yourself of vision. You start feeling it out. Every step that you're taking seems to be one of you exerting your will on it. But you're turning yourself over to it. You can feel a challenge rising up inside of you that is beginning to question why you're doing this. Only the question's not coming from within. It's coming from them.
Oh, the golems?
Seems to be.
Based on what I saw when I walked through, orthographic mastery, what do their runes say?
Oh, at first I didn't describe any here.
I know, it's from the codex.
It is. Now that you begin looking for them, they begin to glow. With orthographic mastery, is there a skill that is needed to be rolled?
I think I could just understand. Hold on.
You have to use, it has to be in the language that you do understand. Otherwise, you're using society, I think, or something.
You could attempt to decipher writing using lore master lore in place of the required skill.
Okay.
I understand the principle that underlies all written words, allowing me to read nearly any text. It doesn't say anything about it has to be in a language I understand.
Okay,
It's
so
all written words.
this would be esoteric texts. So
Okay, I'm
essentially
gonna use my
occultism.
lore master lore.
Okay. And you can use that instead of occultism, right?
Instead, whatever decipher writing skill would be, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be 24.
There doesn't seem to be, there's a complexity to it that is not familiar with anything that you've seen before in books, though it is reminiscent of things that you've heard about. Its actual meaning eludes you.
Okay, I don't need it. I think she was just kind of curious. Bramble knows that the writer of the Hidden Sanctum text, said that you have to basically be true of heart. I think it said it required a reverence for the delicate balance of nature, an understanding of the sacred harmony that must be preserved. So she is saying in response, she hears why are you here?
It's more questioning your existence than actual words that form a question.
I exist because somebody was murdered.
When you say that, what are you thinking of?
I'm replaying the scene that was shown on the stone tablet of Avon's death. And how Nordaga created Leshies and new plants were created. And all of this new kind of life came about from death. So it focuses on the me that is dropping seeds everywhere. And that is the answer that I give to the golems.
Growing out of the ground, you see a prone figure, a Leshy. It looks like you. It's about one of your body lengths directly in front of you.
Does it have the seed pods?
It does not. It appears to be you, including any pouches or including your short sword.
Is this what's going to happen to me?
There's no answer. You just feel the weight of their presence upon you.
I'm going to approach it, and then I'm going to step over it.
The moment that your foot passes over it, you see it appear in front of you again, but now the statues are a little bit further away and then still in front of you.
A little bit further away in...
As if you were put back further.
as in the
Okay.
the distance
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
had closed. It was now reversed a little.
I'm gonna go up to it again.
Okay.
Is this a warning?
Their presence remains silent but powerful.
I know what's at stake, and I'm gonna try stepping over it again.
They get further away and some of the walls begin to disappear as ignorance begins to take over.
I'll do a little bit more investigation on the body.
What does it look like when you do that?
I just kind of like stare at it a little bit, like pensively, like I'm trying to figure out. I'm very sure of myself in this moment that I need to be on the other side of that body. And why is it bringing me back?
You're looking at it, at the body. It just seems to be you. What was the last several things that you said?
Who said that?
Alar, he's in the back. He's far away from you, but he's like shouting down.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that they were still there. I thought
Oh
I was
yeah,
by
no,
myself.
no one, no. You step forward. You said, "I don't think you guys can fit."
Oh, in my head, the way that my body was moving, like when I stepped forward, it like tiny little conveyor belted me forward as the citadel like grew around me, and I was like farther away from them.
No.
Cool. So I jump and I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, you're still here. What?
Yeah,
What?
he's like 60 feet back, but yeah.
What did you ask?
What was the last thing you said? You said something about nature and dying, or we can't hear you very well out here.
It's asking why I exist, and I'm telling it why I exist.
What did you say?
That I exist because somebody was murdered.
Yeah. But after that, I heard something about life and death. And you see him turning, and he's like, he's not not frustrated. He's just.
There's my body. I was talking about the body.
No.
Life and death.
Morty and he are like talking, and they're like they're trying to figure out the puzzle as well. You can give me a will save. Oh boy.
20.
You had said something about with death was an introduction of new life.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I repeat what I said out loud. I don't remember exactly what I said, but that's
It comes to mind. You need to roleplay this.
I don't remember. I don't really remember what I said.
But you kind of have an inkling of what you said, and I'm just letting you know you have an inkling. Now continue to roleplay from that.
I have an inkling of what I said. It's about life and death. Something about life coming from death.
Well, you have a body in front of you. What are you going to do with it?
Oh, fuck. I'm gonna slap it and say heal.
You see it. You see whatever wounds that are on it kind of heal up.
Uh-huh.
But you don't see it. The body itself gets mended. Its physical form gets mended by the heal, but as you know, healing doesn't bring dead people back.
Okay.
What happens when you're a plant, right? Think like a plant.
I turn into compost?
I guess.
I don't. Am I supposed to hack myself up?
I mean, maybe. Well, what happens in nature? We're dealing with Nordaga here. What happens in nature? Does Nordaga hack people up? Well,
no, it just
according
goes
to
back
legend.
into the earth. I bury it.
And you see a path begin to appear in front of you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Alar.
I don't know what I did. I don't see any change. What?
I'm gonna step over the body onto the newly formed path.
Yeah, well, you buried the body, so yeah, the body gets absorbed by it, and as it does, you can see the nutrients even leaching into the ground, and then new roots and seeds tapping into that, and then like small flowers and what have you, now forming a path ahead. The stone things now begin to pass you.
Cool.
Ahead, you start venturing deeper. The corridors twist and turns in ways that are defying logic. The walls seem to shift, creating a maze that constantly changes, and illusions are dancing all around you, weaving intricate scenes of bewilderment. It's as if the very essence of Nordaga is testing your resolve and intuition. Some of the scenes that you see yourself growing up with your friends. You see Foxglove, who had died. You see the two from the opposing camp, essentially two Leshy in a raincoat. You see the meeting of the council in Avianth.
Yeah, I kind of like focus to go forward. I feel like it's trying to trick me to convince me to give up, so I'm gonna keep going.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. 30.
You see three paths ahead of you. Neither of them seem to be in a, quote, correct direction or necessarily straight ahead. One path holds that you had appeared, you see the depiction of you is on what appears to be a rocky hill, and 20 beings or so, like a hobgoblin types, are trying to run up the hill towards you. And you see a massive being with a club bring it down and completely destroy you. And the other path, you can see that there is several people, maybe a dozen or so, inside of a cave in which is a pool of water. And all of them are drinking from it at the same time. In another one, you can see that somebody had given you see a hand. Did we just get raided? Fuck. We just got raided by 27.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, guys? It's our Liching Hour. Hold on, we got to give a shout out to Lich over here. What's up, everyone?
Hey, look. Viva la Dungeon!
Yeah, Viva la Dungeon. If you don't follow the fucking Liching Hour by now, you should be following the Liching Hour by now. What?
Then kick rocks.
Kick rocks. Go kick rocks. Look at that, some awesome shirts. I know. So
we just buried myself.
Yeah,
so
it's getting
picking a door.
It's getting pretty damn surreal at this point. Hey everyone, we're playing Pathfinder. We're trying to figure out a mystery, and we don't know where it's going to go. So right now, I noticed that you're yawning.
I'm so sorry. It's a mixture of the wine and because it's midnight.
I know. That's we will get to where we need to be, and then we'll cut it. Is that cool?
We're good. We're good. I'm trying so hard to keep it in.
And the third one is you can see a hand reaching down towards you, and there is a wooden trinket of some kind, and on it you can see like a stag's head and more. Kind of reminiscent of the stag that you had seen out there in the plains.
Yeah, I want to go down that one.
Okay. You begin walking down it. Can you make a fortitude save, please? And double that with an athletics check also, if you don't mind.
Sure. 33 for the fortitude save.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's wonderful.
Athletics, he said?
Mm-hmm.
24.
So, you are walking forward. You are cocksure that this is the proper way. You can see that things are rising up. You see roots everywhere, and vines are now starting to cover. Green, lush vines, completely counter to anything else that you've had here. It runs all the way around until not only do they go up the side walls of this tunnel you're now heading down, they then cross over each other in, and then even come back around into the footing below. And you find yourself moving forward at a faster and faster pace, your vines reaching out and grabbing onto the wall. And you turn around at one point and you see your friends are a small dot off in the distance. And the path ahead just continues. And then when you look down, you can see that all of those vines that have been making up the tunnel walls are yours, until the only thing left is a mere frame of your body, now permanently planted in the ground beneath you. The exact opposite of what you wanted and were able to do just occurred. You literally fall apart. Give me a will save.
What the fuck? 28.
What does the trinket have on it?
Oh, it's a tree.
You went down a path with a stag's head on it.
Yeah. I just didn't want to go down the one with the being smashed by the hill giant, and I didn't know what multiple people drinking at a water hole was. So I went with what I knew, which was the stag, which led me here.
Does the trinket have a stag on it?
No, the trinket doesn't have a stag.
Did anyone inside the Council of the Verdant Dawn all at the same time drink the water of that pool?
I don't remember that.
Did you get smashed to pieces by a hill giant?
No. I didn't get smashed to pieces.
When you went back, your leg was broken the very first time, right?
But I didn't get smashed, like I didn't die.
You just saw this thing come down on top of you. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't want to go down that path.
Why didn't you want to go down that path?
Because I've already done that twice, and I didn't want to do it a third time.
What in any of the writings made you believe that you were going to repeat the things that you were shown?
I think Bramble saw the hill giant smash.
You are playing Bramble, my love.
I understand. I don't think I understood what that was.
I know. Oh, cool. I get that.
Cool.
I'm not here to contest how the player thinks. I'm here to assist the player in doing something.
Right.
So your character made a will save, so you kind of figure it out. That's not true. That's not true. That's true.
Okay. So Bramble is going to slowly pick her sticks up.
With what hands? With what hands? How do you get out of this?
It's a great question.
I know.
Give me a second. I'm so tired.
Do you want to stop?
No.
Okay. You can feel your heart beating. You feel a connection to Nordaga. You just don't have a physical body to do anything with it.
Okay. Hello? Can I speak?
We can say you do, but you also understand that your voice is not heard by anything or anyone. What does the Ethereal Codex say about this challenge? You got through the first one by reading it. You didn't do that for the second one, perhaps?
I didn't. This actually, to me, does not look linear. That's why I didn't. I started just believing in myself. Let me look. Hold on.
Sure.
Puzzles of elemental manipulation, tests of wit and intuition, traps, slumbering beasts. Didn't reach that yet. Am I missing a paragraph?
No, it was tests of wits and intuition adorn the path. They're enigmatic designs demanding mastery over the forces that shape the world.
Okay.
Traps lay dormant, concealing their treacherous nature like slumbering beasts awaiting prey. The text continues, illusions danced and wove intricate tapestries of bewilderment, testing the unwavering resolve of those who dared to proceed. The sanctum's defenses, crafted with the ancient wisdom of Nordaga, left no room for frailty or hesitation. In the mind's eye can still recall the intricate mechanisms, the interplay of light and shadow, and the whisper of ancient enchantments that echoed through the hallowed halls. Each step held weight. Each choice carried consequence. Certainly, each choice carried consequence in this case, an understanding of the sacred harmony that must be preserved. So no, not so much here. What do you have? Who are you? What are you doing? How is this going to help you? It has been already stated that no one else has been able to do this. There's something about you, or there's something about it that makes this possible.
Do I have Barbara still with me?
You look around. Now that you are looking, you can see Barbara standing there in a cute little pine cone form. She's just off on the side, kind of like looking at you, like with a very concerned look in her face, like,
Can you put me back together?
And she like picks up a vine and like, and the vine simply will not budge. So the will save, I will also give you this. What is it about the things, about the depictions that you saw? How do they differ?
Of the paths that I chose?
Mm-hmm. You assumed that they depicted what will happen to you.
So the one with the troll, I think I just misunderstood. I thought that it killed me, and I was like, that's not what happened.
I did say it kind of broke you apart, but yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, that's absolutely not the path. The waterhole one, I was like, I don't even know what that is, so I decided not to do that one. The stag was the closest I had to something that was real, because I was given the stag as a temporary guide. And to me, that seemed like the closest thing to reality. So that's
you
why
can tell it was the trinket, and the trinket had a stag on it in that depiction. Is that true? Were you given a trinket with a stag head on it?
No.
What is the most true of them all?
The first one. I'm trying to get back there now. That's what I'm trying to do.
So I can assist you with this, and I apologize for any frustration that you're having. Tell me what your character is thinking, or tell me what you as the player are thinking, what ingenuity you are going to employ in order to get out of this. So, now that you realize this seems to be more about knowing your own history and from where you come from and learning from your experiences, you feel a little bit more control over the vines that have completely removed themselves from your body. What do you do?
I want to try to get the vines to wrap me up like I did with Morty.
You start pulling them back. They leave the floor, go back up the walls, uncross themselves from the ceiling, and you find yourself completely back to normal in front of the 3 paths.
It's okay, Barbara. That was really fucking hard. You did your best. Just get back in the bag. We're going to the troll door.
It's a hill giant, not a troll.
A hill giant. We're going to the hill giant. I fall again and
yeah, it's
going to the hill giant door.
So you do the whole thing again. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go down, let's see. Yep. There we go. Okay. The corridors continue to open up. Now as you go down the corridor, they begin opening up, and you can see small side chambers, and each of them are adorned with various elemental symbols. Puzzles of fire, water, earth, air, sun, moon, etc. They all appear all around you. The passageway ends in a dead end. There's no particular order in which these symbols appear. You tell me you walk into the fire one, then you walk into the fire one.
Are they at least in an order that's like nearest to me and farthest from me?
It seems to be that they change according to what you need them to be. You concentrate on it, you can see fire then turn into spirit, for example.
Okay.
And Barbara's kind of like looking around, kind of like...
Are they cubes by any chance?
The rooms are square, but that is inconsequential.
Okay, so it's not like the Alar puzzle.
Right. You see, she's looking at you, like as she hops out of your backpack and starts waddling forward here and there, her little pine cone frame kind of shifting as it goes. One of the things that you notice about the new form of Barbara is that she's a brown pine cone. Pine cones don't start off brown, they all start off green. You are not currently green, you're currently of shadow type stuff. There's got to be a test here that is specific to you. Everything else has been crafted about you. There's something about this that is unique to you. Now, you do know that there are 8 rooms, and you cannot see when you're standing in or near one, you cannot see what the other symbols are in the other rooms.
Okay, I'm gonna go into the earth room first.
As you begin walking towards it, you see like shadow everywhere, but it's all foliage, and you start hearing like mimicking sounds of what the woods might sound like. There's nothing else, however. The floor itself is now just a forest floor, and somewhere in the distance you can see mountains and stuff. Giving the impression that this room, which was once square, you can now continue to walk on forever if you so wanted to.
What is in the void room?
You walk in and you feel awful. You begin...
I don't want to be there.
Your experiences start disappearing. Yeah.
I am reminded of when I recently had an out-of-body experience.
There you go.
And I fucking leave.
Yeah, you do.
I spend a second in the earth room, calming down. So with that knowledge, I definitely don't want to go to the fire room.
Okay.
What's in the spirit room?
You know the body that you planted into the ground? You see yourself now standing there in the center of it all, and beyond is a tapestry of space where every single star is a new soul.
And just to clarify, the thing, what's the word?
Element?
Hallway?
Corridor?
Lobby?
Sure.
Corridor.
Corridor.
Thank you. Is there anything special?
No, it is nondescript compared to the contents of these rooms. Once you look into it, it is nondescript. Barbara's looking at you and like keeps pointing at you and pointing at herself, pointing at you and pointing to herself.
Do you want to go back in the Earth room?
No, she shakes her head and starts mumbling something. Apparently she's afraid a little bit, but she's also like scared in a way that is when she begins to exhibit a little bit of fear, you begin to notice that certain aspects of her begin to disappear, akin to ignorance taking over knowledge again.
So, okay, we're gonna figure this out, Barbara. Don't worry. Maybe just get in the bag, because if you're still looking around, you're gonna start disappearing some more. So get back in the bag.
She's like, she kind of crosses her arms in defiance and starts like, it's like looking down at her like pale, like not quite black and gray body. It's like a little bit of brown here and there. And she just starts waddling towards, like looking around and then looking back at you. And seems very frustrated.
Okay, I'm gonna like stomp to the next room. Whatever the moon room is, what's in there?
You do see shadow. You see lots of shadow in here, but you can also see that each of the shadow have formed a web, and there's a vast amount of webs in here. And beyond that appears to be a pedestal that is also made of shadow, and there is an object on that pedestal. But you're going to have to get through a lot of webs.
I wonder if this is like... If we're still navigating, if I could just think it, maybe I'll get there. I'm gonna hold my hand out and be like, acorn bread, and see if a piece of acorn bread appears in my hand.
Unfortunately not.
Fuck, that would have been really cool, because then I was gonna call for Severus to come out. Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna poke my head in. Severus?
You do,
ma'am?
and a top vine touches on a slight web. You get the feeling that the moment a portion of you crosses the threshold of the door, you start being affected by the contents of the room, regardless of how close you think you are to it. And it gets stuck. It's like if you continue, you're fucked.
Okay, then I'll stay out of that one.
Right.
What's in the light one?
What's light? What is light?
Light. The absence of dark.
What's the element? What's the element called? There are elemental symbols, and there's not a single element that's called light.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh my god. A sun. I meant to say sun.
Sure.
That was so silly.
Barbara, you come out and you see Barbara standing in this, and she's gotten a little bit bigger. And she's looking at you. And when you step into that room, you're kind of getting the impression that all knowledge is here, whether you want it or not. But more importantly, how do you find nourishment? Every single one of these things has been about you. Give me a will save.
$19.
You're getting the impression that you're not thinking about yourself. You're looking at this as a series of puzzles that have nothing to do with you, and that you are going to solve it, come hell or high water, through process of elimination. You're not thinking about it from your perspective, which is exactly what the point was in everything else so far. Barbara was looking at you like, pointing directly at you and pointing at her and pointing up at the room itself. She's standing in about a third of the way in, and you can see her. She's getting like nourished. It's about you. How do you derive nourishment?
I go to the water room.
Sure.
That's how every time that I've needed to that I've started to dry up, if there's water nearby, it's restorative. So that's why I'm going to that room.
Yeah, absolutely. Water will help. You go in and you can feel a little bit of nourishment entering your body. You don't know exactly from where, because once you enter into it, it's like empty. And then it's a little bit warmer. And then there's like an increase in humidity until it arrives at like rainforest levels and all the way up. And you can see some of your leaves start coming back.
Mm-hmm. Does the color come back?
Take a look at the overlay.
Oh shit, that's so fucking clever.
Yeah, you start seeing some of the green and browns of your body start making its way.
That's really cool. I actually didn't realize it was black and white until like...
It turned black and white when you entered into the Shadowlands.
Yeah, and like 30 minutes ago, I was like, that's probably been that way for a while. That's cool. Okay, how does Barbara look? Barbara, get in here.
She's like, she comes out, she appears nourished, but a little bit parched. She comes in and you just see like, she goes, and you see like little pine seeds.
Popcorn.
Yeah, it's popcorn. She just goes... yeah, little pine nuts just appear everywhere.
Oh my god. So I don't understand, Barbara. I feel better, but I don't feel like am I supposed to...
She just walks out and away from you.
I'll follow her.
So just out of happenstance, when you turn around, you see this one remains as water.
Have they all been... So when you said that they're changing, there's no particular order, they're changing
according to what you wanted it to be. Yep.
Okay.
So when you say you walk into the void one, it's a room there that you walked into and it was void.
Okay.
Yep.
And is there a door at the end of this corridor?
Nope, it is a dead end as stated.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so this one stayed. But what am I missing? Do I have to have all of them stay?
Barbara's like looking at you, and she now goes into a different room. Mm-hmm. And give me a will save. What'd you get?
I got a 16, but it was a 1.
Barbara makes up for it by rolling on that 19. So she like, with her bonuses, it's fine. She walks into a different room, and you see like a burst of sunlight come out of that room. You know for a fact that you guys had walked into sun being somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay, I'll follow her into the sunroom because it's also how I get nourishment.
And that, yep, absolutely. You're getting nourishment from that. And then when you walk back out, that one is now staying as sun. she starts drawing a picture on the ground, and you can kind of see like little stick figures of you, and then somewhere over here there's a giant, and then over here there's a raven, and over here, and it's like a timeline of events. And then she walks all the way to the beginning of it, and she, would you stop trying to sit on my damn dice? Fucking cat. It's like legit, like I must hatch these eggs. She goes all the way over to the beginning of it all, before you were like born or something, and then you kind of see like a circle which represents the world, and she's like pointing at this, and then pointing at the rooms, and then pointing at this, and then pointing down the timeline, and then looking at this, and she's like, you kind of get the impression, you know what, give me a hold on, this is Barbara, this is your familiar, so you kind of get the impression that she's saying maybe we need to do this in an order in how Leshies were created, or something like that, of how nature was created, like what elements came into play when and where and everything like that.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna use Lore Master Lore to help me out with that one.
Yeah, let's do it.
I got a, Jesus fucking Christ, 15. I rolled a 1.
So, all right,
okay.
Erin, there are two ways that you can do this. You can rely upon the dice, or you can just tell me what you're thinking. I'm not asking you for these rolls. I mean, I'm asking you for a roll just to see what level of hint I can give you, but I'm gonna, that's arbitrary. If you tell me what you believe the theory is, you might get somewhere.
Okay, I just have to remember what the elements are. Got it. This is the order that Leshies were... What? Hold on. So it's the order that Leshies were created.
Barbara is just putting that out there as a possibility. She goes, maybe it's an order of something. She's trying to assist.
Is it an... Okay, so if we're gonna go with this is all about me, then it's probably the order in my life.
Okay.
But I'm gonna... So I'll be honest. There's... Go ahead.
Well, so when you say it's the order of my life, she goes over to the timeline and then stands at your beginning. She draws where you are, which is like you popped up out of a seed somewhere, and there you were.
Right. So.
And she's like pointing at it, and she's like up there. She goes and she's like up there, and then she points down to the ground, and you got.
So sun and water and earth.
When you take a peek around the corner, you can see that the room that you walked into that was earth is still earth. You came from the earth. You were then nourished by water and sun.
Okay. Beautiful.
So what's next?
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. Well, my teenage years were a bit of a blur. We're gonna say
she's like looking at where you are. And she like hops over to when you said teenage years. She's like stands over there and then looks at the distance between where you came into being and the teenage years, and then she looks at this whole blank thing and she's like,
yeah, I'm trying to think of what element would go in there. Void, if there's an absence.
She's looking at you like, you see a little light bulb come over her head, and she comes over to you and she harshly pokes you in the chest. And it picks up a piece of your vine and like smacks you in the head with it.
Why are you hitting me?
And then she's pointing to her head, and then pointing to you, and pointing at where your chest is, and pointing at that end.
I think I actually need to physically write down the elements. Hold on.
Sure.
Earth, fire, moon, void, spirit. I forgot about spirit. Thanks, Barbara. I'm gonna go to the spirit one.
You do, and you can feel yourself completely energized and are reminded of the time that you first opened your eyes after you were filled with life.
And if that's the case, then probably air is next to breathe.
You go over to air, and you can feel your lungs filled with a purification.
And fire doesn't necessarily mean fire. It means life-ish. And
Change.
I'm
It
gonna go
means
to fire
change.
next.
It means change.
Yeah.
Okay, transformation. So you go to the fire one, and you can feel the old leaves of youth begin burning off, and new ones coming out of that. The old giving birth to the new.
Okay, so then there's 2 rooms left, and I look at Barbara, and I'm like, it's the scariest rooms.
There's 3 rooms. Yeah, there are 2 rooms left. Yep. There's moon and void, right?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I don't want to go into void, and I have a feeling that's last. I'm gonna go into moon next.
You go into moon, and you can feel where sun kind of filled you with all of the knowledge and the blueprints of life and all of this kind of stuff. You didn't know how to use it. You didn't work for it. But now you have grown, you have transformed, you've learned from your experiences. So when you come into this, all those webs are gone. All those webs of ignorance are gone. And instead you can see a single shaft of moonlight shining down on that pillar. And in there is a chest sitting on top of it. Completely black, made of shadow stuff, but definitely there's a lock on it.
What does the lock look like?
A padlock with a keyhole in the front.
Do you see a key anywhere, Barbara?
Shakes her head. She's looking at you, and she's like, she double checks, she looks around, she gets a quizzical look on her, and then she points at you again.
I swear, Barbara, if I'm the key and I'm gonna lift up like one of my vines, does it, and stick it in the
The lock opens.
You are my goddamn best friend, Barbara. Don't ever change. I'm gonna open the chest.
And inside, you see nothing.
Just like the void room. I'm gonna take it with me and go into the void room.
You take the chest with you. As you walk out of the room, and every single step that you take, you can see it slowly gets filled up with experience and knowledge.
And then the void room's not so scary anymore, and I'm gonna throw the full chest, like dump it into the void room to fill it up.
You do that, and it's the void gets washed away, and immediately you just see color beginning to appear everywhere, all throughout, and you see an entire nebula form and worlds and so much more. And then
Barbara, you're fucking brilliant. I'm glad you're here and not Morty, because it would have taken a little bit. No offense to Morty, don't tell him I said anything. He's brilliant, but it would have taken him a little bit longer.
You step back out, and you can see the hallway continues in front of you.
I fucking knew it. All right, Barbara, get in the bag. Let's go. I'll keep going.
You continue? Okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping you have a natural cliffhanger, because I do have to go soon, but
okay.
I can keep going until your natural cliffhanger.
Sure. I have a natural cliffhanger.
Okay, then let's do it.
Okay. So you begin diving in deeper, and the sanctum's defenses are simply becoming much more treacherous. You haven't encountered anything additional, but shadows are beginning to detach from the walls. You begin hearing whispering tales of the first Leshy and Nordaga's divine touch. The shadows, however, are not mere illusions, but guardians of the sanctum, ensuring the last seed's protection. All of them are surrounding you. They move with you, but you understand that they are there to protect the last seed. You continue to walk, and you walk on forever, and they are sticking with you, only there's more and more and more until finally they're just all around you, protecting the last seed.
I need to get to the seed. You all know that, right?
There's nothing more. They're just constantly...
Well, right back at you. I need to get to the seed because I'm taking it out and I'm planting it in the mortal realm.
Do you believe that a continued defiance or suggestion to them or reassertion, not defiance, but a reassertion of who you are and what your mission is, will assist them?
I think it'll assist at least me. It's the part of the codex that's sticking out to me is that it says that I need to be sure of my purpose, and this is literally what I'm tasked to do. And if a hill giant's not going to stop me, if the spider queen's not going to stop me, if all these things are not going to absolute wars aren't going to stop me, then they're not going to stop me.
The only thing that has been traveling with you this time. Remember when you first stepped in, the ley lines were spread out before you. None of them were brighter, and instead it's that one bright spot just underneath you. That has remained all throughout.
Interesting.
That's the only thing. Now, where that bright spot ends is where they start.
Wait, meaning, can you say that a different way?
Sure. So if you are in the middle of this circle, which, by the way, I love this beard balm, thank you. If you are in the middle of this circle and this represents the bright spot on the ground where you're standing, they are here. Where this ends, they start.
Okay.
Barbara keeps poking at you.
What, Barbara? What?
She hops out and begins to write in Sylvan down in the within like the little circle of glowy stuff, like starts writing down in the shadow dirt, which is like about you. Everything else has been about you. You keep looking at the book. Maybe there's an answer there, but it seems to be all about you. And they keep saying that they're protecting the last seed. Where is this damn last seed? It's got to be somewhere around here. And she's like beginning to like get exasperated, not at you, but at the situation. And it's almost like there's the answer right here somewhere, and she continually looks for it. She can't find it either.
Barbara, do me a favor. Look at my body.
She does. She doesn't react unnaturally.
Am I the last seed?
You don't feel any different or anything.
Okay, if they're gonna protect me, then if I hurt myself, then they're gonna try to stop me from hurting myself. Theoretically, if I'm the last seed, if it's about me. So... Okay, I'm going to...
You do have a short sword on you.
That,
But before you use up spell slots, you do have a short sword on you.
I was gonna say that is a little safer than Fireball.
I would agree. I definitely would agree.
I'm gonna take my short sword and I'm going to say I'm gonna put it up to my arm, like I'm about to cut it off.
They do not seem to be reacting in any unnatural fashion.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the sentimental guess, and I'm gonna say, when I realize that it's not my arm, Is it my heart?
You hold the sword up as if to suggest they don't move from their location.
Okay, so it's not me, Barbara. I'm not the last seed. Yeah, I know. That would have been really cool, but I'm gonna take off the amulet. Is this a seed?
You see the light shifts a little.
Barbara, I've been wearing the seed.
And we'll pick this up next week.
Oh, fuck me. Fuck me. Oh, god damn it.